At Glow Resources, we take that job seriously, but not ourselves. We place the best people into the right job. Glow Resources, complete employee solutions. GlowResources.com.
Why do billion-dollar insurance companies regularly delay and deny valid claims? Because that's how they got to be billion-dollar insurance companies. If you've been injured, I'd like to help.
Spencer Callahan is the one to see. Call 387-2323.
LA filing number 16-7969.
WNXX Jackson, KNXX Donaldsonville, and WDGL HD2 Baton Rouge. This hour brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers. LA 21-12681. Offices in Baton Rouge.
Good morning, Baton Rouge. It is 7 a.m. It is cloudy skies, a lot of rain, a lot of drizzle, so slow it down on that road. Hour number one of OTB. We're going to talk a little bit of LSU baseball, a little bit of LSU football, a little Taylor's dog, potentially. I don't know. Stick around. Hour number one of OTB starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench.
This is what we have been waiting for. The hype is over.
Off the Bench.
Yeah, they said I got to come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester.
Welcome in a Thursday edition of Off the Bench. Taylor Sharp here with you in the host chair for Jacob Hester one more time. Our guy will be back tomorrow. And then on Monday, the new era of Off the Bench. Jacob Hester, Matt Flynn, myself, Alondra Villarreal. We will be at it starting on Monday morning. Speaking of, we got Alondra here. Alondra, how we doing this morning?
Good. I'm ready for the weekend.
Yeah, I know. I'm ready for the weekend already. It's like we weren't here Monday. I was off the last 3 days of the week before, and whenever I come back, it just seems like it's busier than when I left, which is insane. Okay. So yesterday, we know we started the show with Jordan's wardrobe malfunction. We all had a good laugh about it, and you know that's what we do on OTB. We get to the bottom of things, whether Jordan's wardrobe malfunction was intentional or not intentional. We grilled him a little bit yesterday morning. When Jake was here before I went on vacation, we talked about the guy who took a dump in the Guarantee parking lot. We wound up getting behind that as well.
Guy, by the way, Brittany had to let me know that I walked right past him. I didn't even know that. I didn't even know he was.
Saw it on the security camera. But today, we have another case to solve, and this involves our own Jordan Kitchens. This is the car key caper case, and Alondra is actually indirectly involved in this story. She just doesn't know it yet. Jordan.
Oh, no, she knows.
Okay, you told her?
We had a whole,
okay.
No, we had a whole, what do you want to call it, kumbaya?
I guess.
Tell us what happened, because you normally leave here at like 1:30, because Hanny and them are done at like 1, so you're 1:30, 2 o'clock.
Yes.
Dude, it's 3:30. I'm leaving. You were still sitting in your car.
In the rain.
Okay, give us a little, what happened?
Okay. All right, let me just preface this for everybody. Get a little bit to know a little about me. I am a very meticulous person. Everything I do makes sense. So I'm not a type of person that I'm leaving my keys.
I don't know that.
No. I'm not a type of person where I'm like forgetting my keys or leaving my wallet, especially because I have to travel for work. So before I leave, I make sure I have everything ready to go. That's numero uno, number one. So I had to come in early for OTB yesterday, so I guess I was just a little groggy or whatever and just didn't hear my keys fall in the grass. That's what it was, because they fell in the grass. They didn't fall. If it had hit the concrete, it would probably have made a noise and, I dropped my keys or whatever. So, when it hit the grass, silent, like a Native American walking on leaves, silent. So next thing you know, I'm ready to leave. I finished uploading Live at Lunch. Y'all tap in. I finished uploading Live at Lunch, and I'm ready to get up out of here, and I'm hitting my pockets, and I wear cargo pants. And I keep everything in my cargo pants pockets. I'm hitting my pockets. I'm like, my wallet's here. Where are my keys? So red flag. Where are my keys? That's the usually doesn't happen. Let me check if it's in my bag. Not in my bag. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let me go, because it's only a certain amount of areas I went that morning. Here, my studio, and for the meeting at, on the 4th floor. So I hit all those spots. Nowhere to be found. And so I remember I would go out there by you, and I'm like just ripping the desk up. And I'm like, dude,
Jordan, you were frantic.
Yeah, because it's like, well, my keys are gone. I live in New Orleans.
Or just stay the night on the couch. What's the problem?
Man, please. Listen. So I just cannot believe I don't know where my keys are. So I'm just looking around. So I go outside where my car is, and they're doing the construction by the church. And the construction guy, he's sitting, it's a black guy, they were like smoking a Joe. He's like, he was smoking a Joe. real cool. He's like, hey, this your car? I'm like, yeah, this is my car. You know, I'm over there. I'm like, because my door was unlocked. Weird. So I'm like, you know, trying to see if they stole something, anything, nothing. They didn't even touch the inside of my car, which is weird. I ain't gonna say too much. I got items in there that, you know, if you wanted to steal it, you could have stole it. So I'm looking around and dude's like, yeah, man, so this lady, she had your keys, man, blah, blah, blah. She was looking for you, but I'm like, well, did she leave a name? What did she look like? He's like, yeah, it was this little black lady. Keep this in mind. We're in South Louisiana. We're in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. This is not Wisconsin. This is not North Dakota. This is not South Dakota. It's black people every corner. Like, so if you're gonna give me a description of a little black lady by a Baptist church, that is like what? That's like going to an EDM concert and be like, hey man, there's somebody here with drugs. Everybody here has drugs. Like, it doesn't matter. You can't give me that description. So now I'm really tripping because the stories was like, yeah, this lady's looking for your keys. She went over there. She gave you your keys over there. So I go to I go back across the street to Guarantee. I go in there. I go to Lady Jag, matter of fact, because I'm like, well, if anybody was going to turn something in, she's going to be the first one with it. So I go to her, and I'm like, Lady Jag, I'm looking, has anybody turned some keys in? She pulls out, like, a janitor ring of keys. Like, yeah, somebody turned these in. I'm like, well, what am I going to do with janitor keys? These ain't my keys. And so I'm, like, talking to myself, going to the elevator, and I hear Alondra in the office. She's like, are you good? What's going on? I'm like, dude, I don't know where my keys are. Like, somebody stole my keys. I go back upstairs. I'm like, Taylor, they're gone. Somebody stole them. Taylor's like, bro, nobody stole your keys, man. What are you talking about?
Well, because, Jordan, what I was trying to explain to you, dude, no one stole your keys if your car is still here.
Yeah, that was the red flag.
To steal keys, you would have to take the vehicle.
Exactly. So that's why I was so irate a little bit, is because so you take the keys, lady. You don't take nothing out the car. I think in my mind, she was waiting till, like 8, 9 o'clock, come back around, car's still there. Now I'm about to get up in that thing. I'm out of there. So I'm like losing my mind at this point because they talking about that, like I said, the description is this little black lady with your keys. She came to the office. So Alondra tells me like, oh no, she did come over there. So the stories make sense. She did go there, but she didn't give up my keys.
She was being super weird about it.
So that's the thing. Like she took the time to go to the church, ask them if it belonged to them.
Went in there, yes.
And then they said, hey, it probably belongs across the street. She comes in there, but then just leaves with the keys?
Leaves with the key. Don't even leave a name.
So why the hell did she waste her time walking to 2 different buildings?
Now you see why I'm pissed. Well, I don't know, like I said on the radio. Yeah, now you see why I was mad. Is because, like, so you didn't leave a name, a number. Like, okay, well, if he does show up, here's how you can get in contact with me. Here's whatever. So she didn't get the keys out, but she did come over here, be like, all right, somebody lost their keys. So this is some random lady with my keys, right? And at this point, you didn't even know about this, Taylor. So I see a black lady with some red keys. My keys, I have like a little red Nike tag on my keys.
You jumped her?
Oh, I ran at her.
You jumped her?
I full sprint. She's like, oh my God.
I mean, what else do you do?
Exactly.
That's the only logical response.
Hey, man, I at that point, I ran. I'm like, those are my keys. Find out the red thing of her keys was like a bottle opener or something like that. So it wasn't even, it wasn't even that. And then, so I'm like, I'm just extremely irate. And then it's scary because there is this lady lurking around in this area with the extra key to my car, just waiting. Like, I can't even park back there no more because I just know once she might just come back around and go hop in that thing. So to make a long story short, my sister had to come through, bring me the extra key, So very grateful to have people in your life that can sit there and do that for you. But in the moment, especially when Alondra came with her side of the story about, like, this lady does exist. She did pull up, but she didn't give up the keys. That just made it worse because it's like, what logical sense does that make?
Jordan, I'm not saying that I hope this happens. All I'm saying is it'd be funny you walk out there and you're like, yep, she came back, vehicle gone.
Oh, no. See, I parked in front of the station today. Oh, come try these cameras. Oh, we waiting on you. We waiting on you. Oh.
Hey, the cameras have already caught someone in the act, so they'll catch her too. Okay, but do you feel a little bit better at least? Because yesterday you were running around frantic, saying, I don't know who, somebody stole my keys. They were right here in my pocket.
I'm like, somebody
Jordan,
did steal them.
Okay, but I was like, Jordan, like nobody reached into your pocket without you noticing, pulling out the keys, leaving the wallet and all of that. Like, and I have I went on a little wild goose chase for you. I went in all these studios behind you.
I saw you.
I went into the podcast studio. The brand new one.
Yeah.
I tell you what I even did. I even shined my light in that little hole in the floor.
I did too.
In the second floor studio because I was like, oh, if they fell out of his pocket, maybe they fell in there. Nothing.
So
But
I knew you was doing that because you saw me. I was talking to one of the guys.
because I was about to leave and I'm like, it's raining. I was like, let me kind of hold off anyway. So I was like, I ain't got nothing else to do.
I'm about to say, the little dude that I was talking to, that's why when we turned around and looked at you in the stairwell, he's like, you know that guy? I'm like, yeah, that's my boy Taylor. He looking for my keys. I just knew you was looking for him. But nah, like I said, I just appreciate the effort, people, even though this lady's walking around. And honestly, I'll be honest with you guys right now. If I do see her, she's getting RKO'd. Like Randy Orton, prime Randy Orton RKO.
So what you're saying is if you don't show up tomorrow and I have to do live at lunch, it's because you are in jail. For RKOing an old lady.
Hey.
Actually, we don't know if she's old. We have no idea.
I'm about to say, this is retaliation. All right? You're just not going to just run off with my keys and act like, oh, I tried to give them away. I tried to give them back. You didn't try to do anything, lady.
She really didn't.
Exactly.
She really did not. She was being super weird. I was walking by the door, and she, comes up knocking to it. Not even Lady Jag's door, the side door that I come in through. And, so I just opened it and she's like, does anybody own that car back there? And I'm like, well, I'm sure someone does.
No,
but
it's vacant.
I don't know who. I don't know what Jordan drives.
Yeah.
I don't know what anybody here drives. And like you said, there's people at the church, there's construction, people in and out of guarantee, whatever. And then she's like, oh, well, they dropped something and I have it. And I was like, okay, well, I was like, well, what do you need? And she was like, they dropped something and I have it. And I was like, well, what is it? And she's like, well, I'm not going to give it to you or tell you if it doesn't belong to anybody here.
You see what I'm saying? That's so weird.
Okay,
that is so weird.
Jordan, we have to find, you need one of those tracking things. I want to know where the hell your keys are. Does she still have them? Did she just go turn them in to BRPD?
No,
what
she's
happened?
literally walking around. I swear I know this lady is waiting for me to go park back there again. And while I'm in here, she's going to go, I told you. I have every construction guy over there. They're on standby. They're like, hey, man, we see your keys. We getting there. Like, nah.
Honestly,
they ready.
In a situation like this, construction workers are really good people to have in your corner.
They were super chill.
They don't play around.
Oh, they don't play. They don't play. Especially because they was like, that's on me, man. I should have made her give us the keys, man, because she did come in there and ask about the keys, man. And matter of fact, she was acting weird. And that's when Alondra said the same thing, that she was acting weird. So that's why all the stories added up. It wasn't like I got this story over here. I got this story over here. No, everybody had the same exact story about this lady. Honestly, Alondra, if I'm be honest, she probably wanted some type of money reward. That's why
I wasn't going to give it to her.
Yeah, she's like, oh, that's why.
Especially not for Jordan.
Yeah, man. So it is what it is, man. All you got to do is just be grateful you have people in your life that can help you out in a time of need.
Well, I appreciate that. Wild start to the show. I am still trying to figure out what the hell is going on with these crowns and numbers in the YouTube chat. I have never seen this before in my life. Brian Burgess is number one. You got a handful of twos, a handful of threes. Daniel Basham and Daniel Blunt have nothing next to their names, which is really funny because they're probably in here the most. I don't know what these crowns mean. Trying to do some digging, trying to search, trying to figure out what it is. I don't know. Jordan, I emailed you a picture before the show.
Yes.
We're about to go to break, but before we do, I got to give a little birthday shout out, guys. My bestest bud, of course, I'm talking about my main guy, Frankie, right here. 2 years old today. Okay, the Australian Shepherd, the guy.
Yes, sir.
The Frankster. 2 years old today. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to my
Frankie.
guy, Frankie. All right, look, we're going to take a time out. When we get back, we're going to talk a little LSU football. We'll have Brian Kelly audio a little bit later on in the show. Jake interviewed him yesterday. He sent that back. But LSU Wire put out something interesting about ranking every SEC offensive line. LSU pretty high on that list. We'll break that down next here on Off the Bench.
Off the bench.
All right, go to trashrangers.com. Trashrangers.com is the website. And remember, we told you yesterday, going to remind you again, for Memorial Day, there is not going to be a delay in service. All routes will run as normally scheduled on Friday and also on Monday, which is Memorial Day. So enjoy the holiday. They have got the trash covered. Another great service you're going to get. And if you are one of the lucky ones that has the ability to have Trash Rangers pick up your trash, well, you get all the benefits. You get pickup on Memorial Day. You get a text reminder that, hey, tomorrow's trash day. Don't get in trouble. Go put your trash out. I wish I had it. But if you're lucky enough to do it, why would you not do it? You can sign up for residential and commercial service right there on the bottom of the homepage. roll-off dumpsters, 3 different sizes to choose from. Give them a call today. Get everything set up, 225-363-9053.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
Come on. MC.
All right, welcome back in Thursday edition of Off the Bench. Taylor Sharp here with you, filling in for Jacob Hester. Almost said two over here too. Dead to me. Saw him yesterday. He actually gave me a little gift. Here, we'll get into this a little bit later. It's something he just gave me on the way out. He's cleaning out stuff. We'll get into it a little bit later.
Okay. I didn't even see you walk in with that.
I had it at the desk. I just left it here.
Oh.
It was sitting at the desk. Anyways, Will Rosenblatt of LSU Wire yesterday decided he was going to rank every offensive line in the SEC. And he prefaced this by saying, I've considered returning production, talent level, and coaching to try and assess which units are in the best position entering 2025. Now, he ranks all 16 in the conference. I'm not going to get into all of them. But at number 6 overall, he has the LSU Tigers. And, that's a big question mark. Probably the biggest question mark on this team heading into this season is the offensive line. And he has them 6 out of 16 SEC teams. He does mention that they were one of the tougher teams to rank on this list because they lost 4 NFL draft picks. But I wanted to kind of look at what you lost, what you return as far as guys that were on the roster last year, which freshmen are coming in, and the transfers that you added. is 6'2" high for LSU. There's talent, but a lot of it is unproven. Here's what you lost. Will Campbell, Garrett Dellinger, Miles Frazier, Emory Jones, all 4 multi-year starters on your offensive line. Your 2 guards and your 2 tackles. That's a ton of production, especially with Campbell and Jones, who have been 3-year starters in this program essentially since the day they got on campus. I mean, Will Campbell was a day 1 starter. Jones, not a day 1, but, I mean, 3rd or 4th game into his freshman year, he grabbed that right tackle spot, never let it go for 3 years. So, for all purposes, we'll just say full 3-year starters for both of those guys. Dellinger, Frazier. If you remember, Frazier came in after playing his first season out in Florida. He comes in. He's a multi-year starter here. Garrett Dellinger came in as a 5-star. He was a 3-year starter here. I mean, just so much talent and experience between those 4 guys. What do you return? DJ Chester is back. He's the only returning starter from last year's offensive line. But the word is DJ Chester might not even play center. By all accounts of, what the rotation looked like during spring practice, all the reports coming out of camp was that they would like to move him to guard. However, he's still cross-trained guard and center. So you have Chester back. He's your only full-time returning starter. Now, Paul Mabinga returns at guard. He played the last 4 games of the season. If you remember, Dellinger goes down in the A&M game. Mabinga slides in. Then he plays Alabama, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, and then, of course, the bowl game. Mabinga struggled at times, obviously. I mean, look, at Kyle Field in College Station is a tough place to be thrown in the fire for your first game. And he looked bad the first 2 games. But if you go look at his PFF grade and how he graded out as an offensive lineman, every single game, he got a little bit better. I think Paul Mabinga showed some promise at the end of the year. You obviously have Tyree Adams back. He played a good bit at left tackle whenever Campbell needed a breather or in that bowl game. Tyree Adams has played a lot of football for you. He's played some guard as well. If you remember before the season, Tyree Adams went down, and Kelly talked about how big of a blow it was until he got back, because he said, Tyree Adams is essentially our 6th man. Whether it's guard or tackle, Tyree Adams is going to come in. We'll shuffle the offensive line if we need to. So they clearly like what they have in a guy like Tyree Adams. You also return Bo Bordelon. He can play guard. He can play tackle. He was used as your big tight end a lot last year. You saw him wearing number 89 out there a lot. Ori Williams is back. Weston Davis, who was competing for that starting spot at right tackle. Cohen Eccles. And he's a guy that when you signed him was a little bit undersized, maybe a little bit under-recruited, but they really like his potential in the future as a possible center on this team. So you do have talent coming back. It's just outside of DJ Chester, very limited experience as far as starting goes. Now, you did a good job in the transfer portal with Braylon Moore and Josh Thompson. Braylon Moore, obviously one of the highest-rated offensive linemen in the transfer portal, was a multi-year starter at center at Virginia Tech. When he came in, a lot of people said, hey, he's the day 1 starting center. But if you go back and look at spring practice, they're making him earn it. DJ Chester was getting first-team reps. Then they would move Chester to guard. Moore would slide in there to center. I think in a perfect world, and what the coaches would prefer, this is just entirely my opinion, Braylon Moore would be the starting center. DJ Chester would take over one of those 2 guard spots. Because you have the most experience that way, right? Because Chester's played a ton. His natural position when he came to LSU was a guard anyways. He kind of played center out of necessity. Then you have Braylon Moore, who can step in there, be a starting center, has played center at a high level, at a Power 4 program at Virginia Tech. That's really good veteran presence right there in the middle. Then you bring in Josh Thompson from Northwestern. He could play guard. He could play tackle. Most like him at guard. I said a little bit earlier when spring practice was going on, I might prefer him at tackle. We'll get into, what the starting offensive line may look like here in a minute. But Braylon Moore, Josh Thompson, both of those guys I expect to start on this offensive line. Now, as far as freshmen go, you brought in 2 big ones. Solomon Thomas, Carius Kern, both highly, highly recruited guys. Kern reportedly can play guard or tackle. And then Solomon Thomas, just a big guy right there in the middle. He is likely a guard at the next level. And then you sign Tyler Miller as well, who is also a freshman on this offensive line. So what will the starting rotation on this offensive line look like? I think Tyree Adams has locked up the left tackle position, because if you go back in the spring and you look at the offensive line rotations, the one constant on that first string offensive line was Tyree Adams at left tackle. You moved around your guards a little bit. Right tackle's been a battle. We'll get into that in a minute. Obviously, Chester and Moore kind of seeing who's going to play guard, who's going to play center. But Tyree Adams was the constant. He was the steady presence on that offensive line in the spring. I think Tyree Adams is your left tackle, no question about it, barring some sort of injury or something unforeseen before the season starts. Now, at guard, I would like to see Paul Mabinga because, again, I thought he improved a lot from his first start to his last start in that bowl game. But what if it is DJ Chester? Let's say DJ Chester takes over at left guard. That puts Braylon Moore at center. So now you have Tyree Adams, who the coaching staff loves. They've seen him play. DJ Chester's played a ton of football on this team. Braylon Moore comes in as one of your most experienced guys, transfer or returners. At the other guard spot, see, I originally thought it was going to be Mabinga on one side, Chester on the other. I'd have been good with that, have Josh Thompson at right tackle because he's played guard and tackle. But they really, really like Weston Davis at right tackle. I mean, that's a guy that was taking the majority of the first team reps during spring. Again, I thought it was going to be Thompson, but let's say it's Weston Davis at right tackle. Josh Thompson slides in there at right guard. So from left to right, in this situation, it would be Tyree Adams, DJ Chester, Braylon Moore, Josh Thompson, Weston Davis. Paul Mabinga kind of becomes that swing guard, along with a Cohen Eccles, along with a Bo Bordelon. And then Solomon Thomas, Carius Kern, they'll earn their spots as they progress through their college career, but that's kind of the starting O-line right now. The reason I wanted Josh Thompson at right tackle is because, look, Weston Davis was a highly recruited guy coming out of high school, hasn't played a ton of college football. Now, a lot will say, okay, well, you have an inexperienced guy at left tackle, you have an inexperienced guy at right tackle. Sometimes that's a recipe for disaster. Sure, but sometimes it's not. I just mentioned Will Campbell and Emory Jones. They both came in. They earned starting spots at the two tackle spots as freshmen. Boom, you had your bookend tackles for the next 3 years. But how often does that happen? But if this coaching staff and Brad Davis, who I trust immensely, thinks that it's Weston Davis, keep in mind, even though this would be Davis's first year starting, he's been in the program multiple years now. You can bring in a Josh Thompson, and if things get hairy, you can always move Thompson back out to tackle, put in Paul Mabinga at guard. But kind of the lineup you've been seeing is Tyree Adams, DJ Chester, Braylon Moore, Josh Thompson, Weston Davis. That's kind of been the group that we've been seeing. And again, that can flip-flop because Chester and Moore can flip-flop. Thompson can move out to guard. Thompson can move from tackle to guard. Mabinga can slide in there at guard. Not only did you do a good job of adding veteran presence with Moore and Thompson, I think you did a good job in high school recruiting. I mentioned Solomon Thomas and Carius Kern. You also have some depth. Ori Williams is a guy that they like. Cohen Eccles, we talked about him. I think he'll be the backup center. Solomon Thomas, Carius Kern, Paul Mabinga, Bo Bordelon. I mean, that's 6 guys I just mentioned that could possibly be rotational pieces on this offensive line. So while there's not a ton of returning production and a ton of returning starting experience, I think there's talent on this offensive line. And if they get the starting rotation right, there's a lot of depth here as well. There's a lot of versatility. Again, because of DJ Chester and Josh Thompson. I think those 2 guys are the key to this offensive line. So your rotation, that'll take shape. That'll form organically when you get into fall camp. You'll get a clearer picture on that. But whether it's Thompson at guard or tackle, Chester at guard or center, Mabinga as a starter or a rotational piece at guard, you have a lot of options, and I think you have a lot of talent on this offensive line. That, of course, is the biggest question mark for this team headed into 2025. You got the running back in Caden Durham. Garrett Nussmeier's coming back as his second year in this program as a starter. He looks to be one of the best quarterbacks in college football, and we know about all the weapons you got on the outside. At tight end, at wide receiver, your pass catchers are elite. This offense will go as the offensive line goes. We'll see how it plays out as we get closer to fall camp. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. When we get back, we're going to talk a little LSU baseball on the other side. That's coming up here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
CentralPlumbing.org, CentralPlumbing.org, 225-925-8552 is the number. Give them a call, 24/7, 365. Game day, weekday, holiday, does not matter. If you have an emergency, they will be there. And not only in Central, Greater Baton Rouge area. Now, they can help you in Central for sure, but Greater Baton Rouge area, we're talking to you. If you've got an emergency, Central Plumbing will be out there. They are ready. You'll see on the homepage of centralplumbing.org, the fleet is ready to go and ready to help. If you want to go tankless with a tankless water heater, obviously You never run out of hot water, which is just a huge benefit. You got a big family like me, you're getting home late, you got dishes, laundry, showers, whatever. You never run out. You don't have to wait. You don't have to try to save that hot water because, again, tankless, never going to run out. Bathroom remodels, all right there on the homepage, centralplumbing.org. Again, 225-925-8552.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is
Off the bench.
You were my sun, you were my earth. You didn't know all the ways I loved you, no. So you took a chance.
I love Ed Sheeran. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Justin Timberlake.
I don't
No, I did that intentionally. I know who this is.
I couldn't even tell you what Ed Sheeran song, but I can tell you what he looked like. I know what he looks like.
Yeah,
so
that's all that.
Nice
That's
ginger.
Well, that's acceptable. Okay, look, we want to talk a little LSU baseball here. I had Doug Thompson on yesterday. When I asked him, kind of a broad breakdown of this Baton Rouge Regional coming up this weekend, Doug brought up something that I hadn't heard mentioned yet, but since he mentioned it, I have seen it probably 2 or 3 times yesterday, and I want to give my thoughts on it because I actually disagree. So Doug was saying that he believes there's a 50-50 chance LSU can pitch off, meaning they will not throw Cade Anderson game 1. They would save him for maybe game 2 and then have Anderson, Ianson back-to-back. I don't think that will happen. Here's why. Because Jay, one, really likes to keep his guys in a rhythm. He doesn't like to change days on pitchers. And there was talk about this back in the 2023 regional. If you remember, LSU was the host site. Tulane was the 4 seed. Oregon State, really tough program, was the 2 seed. Everyone questioned, hey, is Paul Skeens are you going to pitch off to Tulane, throw a lesser arm, throw your ace against Oregon State? Jay didn't do that. Now, a lot of people criticized that decision for Jay not throwing Skeens. The Tigers won 2 straight against Oregon State. They swept that regional. They moved on, ultimately won the national championship. It didn't matter. So not only do we have a blueprint of it working out for Jay Johnson, but we have a blueprint of what Jay is going to do. Alondra, do you think there is any sort of possibility LSU pitches off against Little Rock?
History has shown that no.
Yeah.
But I mean, with Jay, you never know, but I'm pretty confident that he'll probably pitch Cade Anderson against Little Rock tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm with you. And because you and I have talked about this the last couple of weeks, everyone says, okay, well, you got to throw Cade Anderson. He's your ace. As far as I'm concerned, Cade Anderson and Anthony Ianson are 1A and 1B. I mean, they're what and what to me at this point. They've both been that dominant. So do I care if it's Cade Anderson or Anthony Ianson in game 2? Nope, I don't. I think they're going to keep the rotation exactly like they have. Also, I've seen the questions of, okay, well, is Dallas Baptist going to pitch off? No, Dallas Baptist is not going to pitch off for 2 reasons. One, Rhode Island can really hit the ball. I mean, they hit, I think it's like 308, 309 as a team on the season. Like, Rhode Island can swing it. And Rhode Island's ace is actually pretty good in his own right. So I think Dallas Baptist's best is going to go up against the ace in Rhode Island. I think it'd be stupid for Dallas Baptist to do anything otherwise. Also, going back to the LSU factor in all this, Little Rock is throwing their ace. Coach Chris Curry was on with Matt Moscona back on Tuesday, and he said that's the worst kept secret that we are throwing Jackson Wells against LSU. That's our ace. That's our guy. Jackson Wells is not a normal small school arm. Now, when you go look at his numbers, you'll say, okay, well, he's 3-6 on the year. He has a 5.24 ERA in 15 games. He does, but, you know, he's dealt with a little nagging injury at times this year. But you go look at his strikeout to walk numbers, 90 strikeouts to 32 walks, so still pretty solid there. Now, he's allowing a lot of hits, but only 7 home runs given up all year long. So he's still a really solid pitcher. You can go look, you can say, oh, he has a 5.24 ERA. Yeah, I don't really care about that. His strikeout to walk numbers are really good. He has a high strikeout number, and he doesn't give up a lot of big home runs. He's a good pitcher. In 2023, I don't know how many of you remember this, but Paul Skeens finished that 2023 baseball season with the second best ERA in all of college baseball, and it was incredible. It was 1.69. Do you know who was first in 2023? It was Jackson Wells. 2 years ago, Jackson Wells, 1.65 ERA. Oh, I get it. That was 2 years ago, but Jackson Wells has more strikeouts this year than he did that year. And that was in 93 innings in 2023. He's thrown 79 innings this year. He has 10 more strikeouts than he had in 2023. So the ERA is not there, but the strikeout numbers are up. Jackson Wells is not your normal small school arm. He can really throw the ball. I don't think there's any question what Jay Johnson is going to do in this regional. Because, again, we've seen the blueprint with Paul Skeens. He threw him against Tulane. Like Alondra mentioned, you never quite know what Jay is going to do, but Jay is also a guy of habit, right? He likes to keep his pitchers in a rhythm. So I'm with her is where it's like, you don't know 100%, but I am pretty confident, I am almost certain that Jay Johnson is not going to switch up this pitching rotation. Because if you throw Cade Anderson and you win, which I expect both of those things to happen, you will play the winner of Dallas Baptist, Rhode Island. Let's say everything's chalk. And it's Dallas Baptist beats Rhode Island, LSU beats Little Rock, the 1 and 2 seeds move on. Your number 2 starter should be a hell of a lot better than the number 2 starter at Dallas Baptist. Because you have a guy in Anthony Ianson who, on the majority of teams in college baseball, would be the Friday night guy, would be considered the ace of the staff. So I would give advantage Tigers in game 2 over Dallas Baptist. And you win that game, you only got to win one more. You're sitting pretty. You can piece that last game together if you want. You can throw Jaden Newt. You can throw Kason Evans. You can throw Connor Ware. You can piece that thing together and get that done. I don't think there's any question about who he's going to throw game 1, why he's going to do what he is. But going back to game 3, we know it's Cade Anderson game 1. We know it's going to be Anthony Irons in game 2. We have set up here, me, Alondra, Jake, when T-Bob was here, him as well, and talked about you got to find maybe a third and fourth arm, not go 6, 7 innings, but a guy that can maybe go 4 for you, can start a game for you that you feel confident you can win with, because you're going to need that when you get into postseason, and you're really going to need it if you make it to Omaha. They've tinkered with it a little bit since taking Chase Shores out. Kason Evans got a few starts. We saw Jaden Newt get a start in the SEC tournament. Connor Ware's gotten some starts in midweek. Like they've kind of tinkered with a lot of different guys. Alondra, who would you throw? Let's say you win game 1 and 2. You only need one more win to move on. And you already used Zach Cow when he's out. You use him out of the bullpen. Who's the game 3 starter? Like if you had to pick today, Anderson, Ianson, who?
So like we already used Anderson and Ianson?
Yeah, you're in game 3. But you have a 2-game lead. You just need one win.
I liked in the tournament when we used Newt and then Chase Shores came out.
Yeah.
And then if we haven't used Kason Evans, we can.
Yeah.
I think we can get enough out of Newt, Shores to maybe go to Kason Evans to close it out. But if you need somebody in the interim, there's plenty of people to go to.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday with the depth of the bullpen, right? I agree. Jaden Newt might be my first option. And I'm with you about the Newt to Shores combination, because I just think Chase Shores right now is a lot better out of the bullpen than he was as a starter. Some people are like that. Remember when Zach Hess was here as a freshman? He was a dominant closer. You tried to make him a starter the next year. It just didn't work out. Once you moved him back into the bullpen, he was dominant once again. I just think right now Shores is better out of the bullpen than he is as a starter. Jaden Newt's proven that he can kind of do both. Kason Evans has proven that he can kind of do both. So you may have found a third and even a fourth starter that, again, aren't going to go 6, 7 innings, but can go 3 to 4 innings for you in Jaden Newt and Kason Evans. You're going to need that. That's going to be big time when you show up in Omaha. If you happen to make it to Omaha, which I think this LSU team has a good chance in doing. We've talked all week long about how favorable of a draw they have with Dallas Baptist, Rhode Island, and Little Rock in the regional. And then you're paired with the Clemson regional. So it's Clemson, West Virginia, and Kentucky. And Alondra, you and I were actually talking about West Virginia the other day and, looking at their overall record. I didn't realize this. Pretty much every time this season West Virginia has played a top 30 RPI team, they've lost. So that record as a whole is really good. But the record against good teams, it's not there. So there's a chance, because like you and I were talking, if it's not Clemson, like it could be West Virginia. Keep an eye on that. Like I think Clemson might actually be in the driver's seat right now. But if Kentucky gets hot, that's a team that, not that I don't want to see, but like they small ball you to death. They bunt. They're good at advancing runners, at manufacturing runs. Nick Mangione is a really good baseball coach. Watch out for the Kentucky Wildcats, because I was kind of looking at this as a two-headed race between Clemson and West Virginia. But when you go look at West Virginia against top 30 RPI teams, it's not great. And they have a good record overall and in the Big 12. But when they played those elite programs, they've come up just a little bit short. That's something to keep an eye on. But going back to the original thought, I don't think Jay Johnson pitches off. I think it's Anderson, Ianson, to be determined in Game 3 and Game 4 if necessary. We'll get to that when we get there. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. We get back. We're wrapping up hour number 1. Then in hour number 2, Jacob Hester in Destin for SEC spring meetings. We're going to hear from Coach Kim Mulkey and Coach Brian Kelly as he interviewed both of them yesterday. That's coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. But when we get back, we're closing out hour number 1 here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
KTOZBlinds.com is the website.
It was safer.
K to Z Interiors and Outdoor Living. Been doing it since 2004. Brandon Barton and the team going to come out to your space, your home, your business, and learn your space. Going to know it better than you probably in like 5 or 10 minutes. That's what they've done for me. They did it for T. They're going to probably do it for Flynn. They'll do it for you as well. It's not just because we talk about them every day. That's just who they are, and that is what they get done every single day. Now, interior and outdoor living. Sometimes it's both, and that's what I have gotten from them. The shade is incredible. I told y'all the other day, my dad saw it. He's like, wait a minute, I want one of those. Brandon driving to Dallas, stops off in Shreveport, puts one up for my dad. That's just who they are. That is what you're going to get, that level of customer service. KTOZBlinds.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
You gotta believe in the dream. Believe. You gotta believe in the dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wildin'.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment, hour number one here on a Thursday edition of Off the Bench. Taylor Sharp here with you, sitting in for Jacob Hester. One more day. Our guy will be back tomorrow. He has been at SEC spring meetings all week long, and he actually sent us back a couple LSU interviews. Yesterday was LSU day over there at SEC spring meetings. So we're going to hear from Coach Kim Mulkey at 8 a.m. This is a interview that Jake did with her yesterday. And then at 8:30, we're going to hear from LSU head coach Brian Kelly. Look, there has been a ton of debate. I mean, you've heard the Greg Sankey sound bites ad nauseum at this point about what he thinks about the 16-team playoff, whether or not the SEC should even be in the NCAA, why three-loss teams got left out, even though two of them beat Georgia. Broke that down yesterday. How about don't lose to crappy teams? That's a good way to not get left out of the college football playoff. But this segment, our guy T-Bob Hebert was actually in the building yesterday, ran into him as I was leaving. So It's really funny. Right after the show, Alondra is carrying these what look to be really heavy packages up to T-Bob's office. So they did a going.
They were heavy.
They looked
heavy.
I mean, the boxes were huge, and like there was no
Nobody
give
helped
to
me
them.
either.
There was
Like,
no give
I
to them.
had 2 boxes in my hand, my keys.
So did you walk up the stairs with them?
So I took the elevator.
Okay.
But I had those 2 big old boxes that were actually pretty heavy in my arms. And then I had a bottle of champagne that I was trying really hard not to break because Katie, Jake's wife, got T-Bob this amazing bottle of champagne that somebody hand painted, like a bunch of OTB stuff, and put all of us on the bottle. So I was trying really hard not to break that. And nobody was like, hey, need some help? So I'm just like carrying all this stuff in my hands, struggling.
Yeah, that's on me. I did see you right before you got in the room.
Yeah.
That's on me.
It's fine.
Because my original thought was, oh, she carried her this far. She could probably make it
fair
the
enough.
next 10 feet. But you actually brought the bottle and showed me, and it was awesome.
Surprise, T-Bob left all his gifts at walk-ons.
Left them at what? T-Bob doesn't forget anything.
Yeah. I don't know how he doesn't work here anymore, and I'm still like grabbing stuff for him that he left behind. Like at Whiskey and Wine, I'd always like put all his stuff on his chair for him so he wouldn't forget it.
So I was telling Victoria when I brought this home, we'll get into this in just a second of what this is, but I was telling her, she's like, oh, you saw T-Bob today? Because I was like, yeah, T-Bob gave me this. She's like, oh, it's cool. He comes around every once in a while. I was like, Victoria, T-Bob's last day was 2 weeks ago. I think I've seen him every day at work, but like 2.
I've seen
him. I was like, T-Bob's been here every single day.
Yeah.
I've seen him
like every day
he
except for when
came
he was in Chicago.
Pretty much. So he went to Chicago last week, but pretty much the beginning of that week, like Monday, Tuesday, he was here.
Yeah.
But then when he was in Chicago, I was also on vacation. Wouldn't have seen him anyways. Then he got back in town on the weekend. Y'all saw him Sunday. I see him yesterday. Like, we've pretty much seen T-Bob every single day.
Yeah, and I
even
saw him
though he
that
doesn't even work here
Sunday
anymore.
That like we had brunch or whatever. I've seen him. Like we were like being so dramatic.
Right.
Like, oh, this is your last day, but we've seen him like every day.
Yeah, like literally every single day. Okay, well, speaking of T-Bob, a couple weeks ago, so his last day was 2 Fridays ago. That Sunday night, so leading up to his last week, he's cleaning out all of his stuff, and he said, hey, what size shirt do you wear? Can you wear a medium, or is that too small? And I said, well, it depends on the shirt and the brand. I'm usually somewhere between a medium and a large. And he said, okay, cool. Caitlin got me a Queen of Sparkles shirt forever ago, but for some reason she got it in a medium. I've never been able to wear it, tag still on it. And I said, oh, okay, nice. Thinking I'm never going to see this because it's T-Bob. Well, that was 2 Sundays ago. Yesterday, I catch him walking. We're talking a little bit. He goes, oh, don't leave just yet. He goes, I got something for you. So I am now officially the owner of a Queen of Sparkles shirt. Cool. It's gaudy. It's not really my vibe, but I tell you what, I love it. Like you see Queen of Sparkles, everybody knows her because she designs all the flashy outfits for Kim Mulkey. Went on the website yesterday because I'm like, okay, forgive me for thinking this. I see the name Queen of Sparkles. I'm like,
women.
They don't make men's clothes. Yeah. This is actually the only men's shirt. Go to the shot, Jordan. This is actually the only men's shirt they make. It's got the Queen logo. It looks like a playing card.
What's on the shirt?
In the it's called called the second. I'll put it on when we go to break. So it's called the Second Line shirt. Just New Orleans themed. I mean, it's got men and women in like cocktail attire. It has French Quarter on the back. It's a Second Line. Like it's a pretty cool shirt. Like obviously I don't own anything like this. It's got sparkles across the front. Like this is a very T-Bob shirt, but I think I'm gonna wear this. I think we're gonna put it on a little bit later.
Her husband wears like really.
Does he?
He wears him and Jamie is her name.
Yeah.
Like they wear very similar clothes.
She's an LSU grad, is that right?
I
believe
think
she
so.
is.
Yeah, I think so. So I judged like a Battle of the Bands with her one time, and his name's Hunter. He was there too, and my neighbors are friends with him. Like they've been friends since college or whatever. But yeah, he has a very, they both have very, how do I say it? like their style is
Flamboyant.
flamboyant, I guess is the way.
I mean, it
yeah.
makes sense. If you're
Like, they
married to the
both-
Queen of Sparkles, you gotta be,
you gotta
right?
bring it. Yeah, you gotta bring it if you're married to the Queen of Sparkles. But yeah,
So it's funny, when T-Bob first brought me this, I was like, no
They're a
way
good
you're
time.
giving me your fruit shirt. Because I saw a bunch of colors.
Something to
I was like,
remember me
T-Bob,
by.
you're not getting rid of your fruit shirt. He's like, no, this is the Queen of Sparkles shirt I was telling you about. I was like, oh, I forgot because it was like 2 weeks ago. But it's pretty cool. And it does fit. I had to try it on when I got it because, like, again, sometimes I'm a medium. Like, this shirt here is a large. This shirt here fits me better than this. Like, it's weird. I'm a tweener. Like, if they ever made an extra medium, that's me. Because, like, this medium shirt is looser on me than this large shirt. It's like, I don't know. It's weird.
Well, I'd rather be extra medium than schmedium. You never want to be the schmedium guy.
No. I'm not the small medium. I'm the extra medium. I'm the medium to the large. It really depends.
Can't be the schmedium guy.
No. But yeah, shout out T-Bob. Shout out Queen of Sparkles. Got me a Queen of Sparkles shirt. We're gonna try it on. You know, this will be the first.
Yeah, it should be your Friday
in my wardrobe. This will definitely be something that I wear from time to time. Now,
hey, Friday, I'm telling you, Friday shirt.
First women's basketball game next year. This is getting broken out. For sure.
You got to find a way to get a picture of Malky, like both of y'all, whatever outfit she got on, and use the Queen of Sparkles.
Got the Queen of Sparkles shirt. I'm steadily turning into T-Bob. Told myself I would never do that, but now I'm going to be wearing flashy shirts as well. Okay, look, that was kind of a fun hour number one there. We got into Jordan's car key caper story. Got a little Queen of Sparkles. Did some LSU baseball. Did some LSU football. Coming up here in hour number two, we're going to hear from Kim Mulkey, from Brian Kelly, and we're going to talk a little New Orleans Saints. Again, these interviews come from Jay Kester. He's out at SEC spring meetings. We'll hear from Mulkey coming up next at the top of the hour. Stay tuned. Hour number two of OTB.
Off the bench.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
Good morning, Baton Rouge. It is hour number 2 of OTB. Sunny outside, it was raining. Thank the Lord for that. So hour number 2 of OTB, we're going to dive into a couple of Jacob Hester interviews with Kim Mulkey, Brian Kelly, a little bit of Saints talk, and a little bit of here, a little bit of there. So hour number 2 of OTB starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench.
This is what we have been waiting for. The hype is over.
Off the Bench.
Yeah, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester.
All right, welcome back in. SEC spring meetings here in Destin, Florida. We have got LSU women's head basketball coach Kim Mulkey here with us. Coach, it is always a pleasure. We appreciate the time.
Well, I'm glad to be here. I wish I didn't have these high heels on and I was in flip-flops and on that beach out there, but I'll come back with my family later in the summer.
Oh, absolutely. Coach, what spring meeting is this for you in your coaching career?
Well, I'll tell you, I'd much rather be in Destin because that's my vacation of choice, but when I was in the Big 12 all those years, we would go to the Broadmoor and Colorado Springs and places. Well, I'm not a golfer,
right?
So anything with a beach and water, I'm more in tune to.
And how much have the things on the agenda, the bullet points changed, I guess, over the years? Because it feels like we've been really about 4 years. It's been so much about NIL and transfer portal, where I'm sure, you had a lot of the same when you were at Baylor and other places, but now it's kind of been just heavy NIL and transfer portal.
It is, and every year you talk about the same stuff, and that kind of becomes boring. You talk about referees, you talk about game schedules, you talk about non-conference, all the same stuff. But what is really transpired now is that we have these meetings, and we're really waiting in the unknown. We're waiting for a judge to have a ruling. It's kind of like you're building the ship as you on the water. It's crazy because it's like things could change and level out next year, but then we're talking about things that we think are going to happen, and then what if they don't? So It's kind of interesting.
Does it give you any peace of mind that it is the SEC? You do have Commissioner Greg Sankey, so no matter what it looks like, that the SEC will probably get the best of it?
Well, what's our saying? It just means more.
Right.
And having been in the Big 12, that I didn't think much of that. You're focused on your league, but now being in this league with the addition of OU and Texas, it really does. It's like Sankey, you're sitting there and he's got to make tough decisions. He's got to address things with each institution to try to have a collective whole that we all follow the same rules. And I think, gosh, he's got to be one smart dude, or he's got a lot of smart people around him, because he has to fix a lot of things and he has to make tough decisions. And I've enjoyed being in this league. I've enjoyed the listening ears. I've enjoyed the competition. I've enjoyed the great coaches. I've enjoyed meeting coaches in football and men's basketball that I've watched from afar, and now I can say I know them because of SEC meetings every year.
Yeah, no question about it. What would you say, Coach, is maybe the one thing this year that maybe you had the most discussions about in those rooms? Like, was there one major topic that y'all continued to come back to?
I thought a very heartfelt conversation was revenue share. And I think the message, and we just shared it with the athletic directors, is we keep hearing 75 for football, 15 for men's basketball, 5 for women's basketball. And then you realized after meeting these last couple of days, not everybody's getting 5% share in women's basketball. And so while we're competitors and we only think about ourselves and let me get what I can get from LSU, and LSU does take tremendous care of my program, I do have a heart for those who, how are you going to compete with the LSUs and the South Carolinas and the Texas who have been to Final Fours and won national championships and probably are getting more? You do want the conference to do good. And I then sympathize with the athletic directors. They're looking at the bottom line, the final results of money. And you can't do that in women's sports. You cannot do that. I've said it many times to you guys, on you and T-Bob on the radio. No women's sport makes money. None.
Right.
And so you have to see value in them. You have to see those sold-out arenas. You have to see those television appearances, those championships, because you can't put a dollar value on that.
It is something, Coach. It's a great point that we don't talk about. Like, you know, the PMAC's going to have thousands of fans when your team plays. That's not just the case everywhere. And so when you're talking about percentages, well, LSU's going to do whatever they can to keep that going, right? They're going to make sure that you're taken care of. But it's something we don't talk about. It's not going to be the case everywhere. And those teams and those programs are going to have steep challenges.
And as I said, we all are competing against each other. But at the end of the day, there's 16 good institutions in this conference, and we want to always be able to say to the other conferences, it does mean more in the SEC. And if we don't have everybody getting to the NCAA tournament and doing good because they can't get their players that require a little bit more money, it hurts all of us in the league. And I mean, look at men's basketball. Didn't we have everybody but 2 teams this year? I can remember when I got in the league, we weren't that good in men's basketball. So what did we do to help men's basketball get better?
Right.
Well, don't allow women's basketball to lose what they have going. To me, right now, in the history of my coaching and playing, women's basketball is as high rated as it can ever be. So let's don't lose that and we slip, and then we look up 2 or 3 years down the road and we've lost that.
Right. Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, right now, your viewership in the arenas, and I've told you this on the radio. I mean, I've got 5 kids, but I've got 4 boys, and there's nothing more they enjoy than going to the PMAC and watching your team play.
Well, I have one of each too, and my son is like your boys. He grew up watching some of the greatest women's basketball, and he can't sit there and go, well, they're just girls. No, he grew up playing against those just girls, and he has a great respect, having played baseball at LSU. He just has great respect for the highest level of women's basketball, and you just kind of want it to stay there. And as I said, I'm spoiled at LSU, but I hope spoiled is not the word. I hope the product we have given them in a short period of time is a return on their investment.
Right. New players probably coming in, probably literally like right now.
Well, they did this past weekend. So my coaching staff, we moved in freshmen and transfers, and I don't require the whole team to be there for workouts in the summer because some are doing USA basketball stuff.
Right.
And it's such a long season. So what I do is I tell them, you can pick the session in summer you want to come, or you can come in the fall.
Right.
If you're here, it's a slower pace in the summer. Take a class or 2, do individual workouts, and get in that weight room with our strength and conditioning coach. So several of them chose to come on the first session, and then some will be here the second session, and then they'll all be here in the fall.
Yeah, I know you're looking forward to that. Pretty good group you've got coming in, Coach, through freshmen and high school recruiting, which I know is very important to you. We've talked about that many times, but some pretty high-profile transfers as well.
Listen, they all look good on paper, right?
That's right.
But the transfers have proven themselves at other institutions. So we
Right.
know what the transfers are capable of doing. What you don't know is those high school players and their rankings. But we sure are excited about those high school players.
Yeah.
But don't put too much pressure on them. Let them find themselves and their role within our program, and get them here. And we are excited. When you think about the perimeter play that we have, we think we'll have outstanding perimeter play this year. What we don't know is we have had to replace a lot of post play.
Right.
And so it'll be interesting to see when we're all on the same page how good we can be.
Last one, Coach, because, I got to get a baseball question in with you. LSU, regional, will you be in the box? Will you be supporting the Tigers? Because you know baseball as well as anybody that I know.
I plan to be there. I'm waiting for my grandchildren to come in Saturday for my camp, which starts Monday, and I'm babysitting them all week as well. So I do want to take them there. I'm familiar with Dallas Baptist, having been in Waco, Texas for 21
Right.
years. Even have some friends who have children that play for Dallas Baptist. Not anybody else in the regional that I know of right now, but I do love baseball. I love the playoffs in any sport because I think it's just taken up a whole notch offensively and defensively. Like the NBA, I'll watch it right now, but I wouldn't probably watch it during the season because they play so many games.
Yeah.
But people just tend to take it up a notch when it's playoffs, and I know the box will be full. I know it'll be exciting, and we gotta do it so that we can get a super regional in Baton Rouge and Omaha, and Jay's just really had a good year.
Coach, you're the best. Truly appreciate time. I know you've got a lot going on back home, trying to get back home, so I appreciate the sit down.
You're welcome, big guy.
All right, there she is, LSU coach Kim Mulkey. We'll step way more coming back your way.
All right, welcome back into Off the Bench. That right there was Jacob Hester with LSU women's basketball coach Kim Mulkey. And I got to say, the SEC just continues to beat the Big 12 because the beginning of that interview, Jake asked Coach Mulkey about, what's it like being in Destin for the SEC spring meetings. And Coach said, well, when we were in the Big 12, we would usually go somewhere like Colorado Springs. I'm sure Colorado Springs is lovely. My sister-in-law used to live right outside of Colorado Springs. My wife says it's a great place. But this is spring meetings, and there's nothing better than being at Destin on the beach for SEC spring meetings. And that's why the SEC is the best conference in all of collegiate sports. Stay winning SEC. Excellent location for those spring meetings. I was watching Brian Kelly a little bit on his video interview with Paul Feinbaum yesterday, and Jake got him as an interview as well. We'll play that a little bit later in the show. But they got the beach in the background. It just looks great. A-plus job there on the location for SEC spring meetings. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. When we get back, Ross Jackson over at LouisianaSports.net put up an article kind of mentioning, his notes from OTAs, his biggest takeaways so far during the media portion, availability, if you will, of practice. Media actually expected to be present again today at OTAs as the Saints are in their second week of offseason workouts. But Ross kind of put out heading into today, put this up yesterday, of things he wants to keep an eye on out there at Saints camp. We'll break it all down next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
All right, go to PelicanRoof.com. PelicanRoof.com is the website, and check it out. Offices in Baton Rouge and Lafayette, and there on the website you will see what they can do for you. Also, financing's right there on the website. Remember this, right? 0 interest for up to 21 months for qualified applicants. You can find that again on the website. A couple things they're doing here in May that we definitely want to tell you about. They are growing their Baton Rouge team and are looking to hire 10 new sales reps during the month of May, and they are paying up to $10,000 of a signing bonus, and applicants can apply at pelicanroof.com/careers. But also, don't forget, they're giving away a free roof to a mother in need and collecting nominations during the entire month of May. So you do have some time left, right? You still got about a week left, and they're going to announce a winner on June the 2nd. So go nominate at pelicanroof.com and check out their pinned post on Facebook.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
Hour number 2, Thursday edition of Off the Bench. So we're just vibing there. Just vibing there to the ball music. Nice vibes here on a Thursday. Okay, guys. What's your honest opinions? Don't have to worry about that with Alondra. Jordan, you might be a little bit too nice. What do we think? Shirt. Is the shirt a yay or nay? What do we think?
I can't really see, I need to get up close because I can't tell what's on it.
So somebody was asking about
the designs are so, my eyes are not comprehending what that is.
It almost any white you see, it looks like a sketch drawing of people.
Okay.
Whether it's men, women, dressed up.
Hang on, I need to look at it.
You have
gotta get a closer look.
Yeah, I don't really, and it's got New Orleans stuff. So on their website, it's called Men's Second Line Shirt. On the back, it says French Quarter, second line.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much this pattern all over. It's got the sparkle here and
That's
here.
why I needed to get glasses. I literally could not make out what that was.
It's hard, especially here. You know what it looks like right here on this camera? This one's a little bit brighter than the other one.
Yeah.
It looks like one of those 70s Saved by the Bell type vibes when you just see all the bright colors.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it looks like here.
Or
but
I don't hate it.
It looks like a comic book. It's very, like I told you when you came out the bathroom, it was very T-Bob-esque.
I don't hate it, but you never wear stuff like that.
I don't.
So it looks a little.
I don't.
A little worldly, but it's not bad.
Honestly, you just got to get the chest hair. You get some chest hair with it, it'll make it pop.
Unbutton one of the buttons.
I'm about to say, yeah.
You could turn that camera brightness down a little bit.
I know, for real.
We don't have.
I need some sunglasses.
We don't have the T-Bob, but we got a little bit going.
You got a little bit. You got blonde body hair, though.
Yeah.
How did your face get tan, but your chest didn't?
Because here's what happened. First day and a half, we were swim trunks and nothing else, right?
Yes.
Typical beach attire.
Oh, then you started
felt myself getting a little red, and I was like, I don't want to burn, so I wore the sleeveless shirt, so it got basically here down, which is why the arms look a lot more tan, and then left the face.
Yeah.
So I basically alternated every other day after the first day and a half. So it's a little bit, look, Whatever. Okay.
Hey, but no. Hey,
I was
hey.
just wondering.
When the
day one of
shirt's
the shirt.
on, the
Day
tan
one.
looks even.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I care about.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, also it's day one of the shirt too.
The
Like
des-
it's gonna take time.
Yeah.
It takes time. It's day one.
it looked better in the dark brown shirt earlier, for sure.
No.
Sure.
The
That's
dark
not
brown
what we're
was
saying.
no, dark brown was UPS vibes. Now you're like, now I ain't gonna lie, it's like it's very T-Bob. It's just so it's T-Bob shirt, so it's like so T-Bob. Like when I look at that, I can see T-Bob having a rotation of just shirts just like that. Literally, he has a rotation of shirts just like that.
I mean, this was purchased for
Yeah, I'm about to
T-Bob.
say, like,
He
exactly.
just gave it to me because it didn't fit him.
Exactly.
Like this is T-Bob.
And that's crazy because he lost a lot of weight. A lot.
Well, because
of weight.
when he told me, yeah, but T-Bob's still
He's
like
big boy. He's
6'4",
big boy. Yeah, no, he's
like
big boy. You see-
And he thick.
yeah,
he's
like
big
I
boy.
imagine T-Bob's still in an XL. This is a
Yeah.
medium.
Yeah,
no,
there's no way.
remember
There's
we
no way
made
he's
him
putting
put
that
a
on.
small T-shirt on, and it was like
Yeah. So during
Very,
break,
very
during
small.
break, I'm just sitting here like this, like just hand on the chin, and I could feel it like right in here, like the shirt
Oh,
itself.
that shirt right there.
Getting a little tight, like right in here. There's no way this would fit.
Oh.
Fit T-Bob, absolutely not. But when he texted me, I don't know, like 2 weeks ago, he's like, "Hey, I have a Queen of Sparkles shirt. Do you want it?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
Why not?
Like,
It's free. It's free.
I feel like
didn't
I
wanna say
could
it's
make
free.
that shirt work,
Did not know what it looked like.
like
No.
with some jeans.
So-
But if it's T-Bob giving you a shirt, you got to know it's some type of. It ain't just some regular T-shirt you finna get from
So
T-Bob.
the jeans though, like
He
like,
gave
I
you
got
jeans?
I got the no,
Oh.
he didn't give me jeans. She was saying like make it work with jeans.
Yeah.
I wasn't planning on wearing this today. I
Yeah,
would do
no,
it with a
yeah.
darker jean since the
Yeah.
shirt's so bright.
Yeah.
I got the lighter jean on today, but I don't know. Looks alright.
You look like
So
you got to
I-
go to Miami. Like you got to get a lot.
I look like I'm at SEC spring meetings. Is where it looks like.
Ooh.
Yeah, this is an SEC. This is
Hey,
an SEC spring meeting
That's
shirt
a good professional move right there.
for
Taylor.
sure.
You look like you're about to go enjoy a night at Splash,
Well,
Yeah.
look,
And get it nice and lubricated.
or like you're going to a drag brunch.
What family you hate? Family you hate. You despise everybody sitting at the table with, but you got to keep a nice straight face. Like, hey guys, what's going on? Love you guys. But deep
that's a
down,
really good impression of me. Really good. That was probably the best. Sometimes you try to do the Taylor impression when you're doing the intro to our that one there.
yeah, the
Just
spot,
just chef's kit. That was perfect.
shout out Chef Michael Johnson.
Speaking of Chef Michael Johnson coming on, hour number 3,
Hey.
we'll have Chef coming on for our normal Munchies segment at 9:15. We will have Big Deal or No Big Deal at 9 a.m. Right now, though, a few minutes before we get to the Brian Kelly interview, which we will do after this upcoming break, Ross Jackson at LouisianaSports.net put out his biggest takeaways for the Saints at OTAs, whether it's the quarterback competition, what the rotation is going to look like on the lines of scrimmage, receivers, everything like that. Want to dive into that a little bit. He has a good write-up of it where he goes way into detail. Up on LouisianaSports.net, you can see it there. And he mentioned that when he was out there during the media viewing portion, it was the first media practice. It was easy to call Spencer Rattler the front runner of this quarterback competition. He's, there's no surprise. Rattler's been in the NFL for a year. Rattler actually completed all 8 of his 7-on-7 passes. Now, that doesn't mean that Tyler Shuck was bad. He said it was 6 or 7 of the 8 passes that Tyler Shuck threw, he completed as well. So you like to see that. It's not like, oh, they were both bad. Spencer Rattler just sucked a little bit less. No, they actually both did a really nice job. But look, when it comes to the Saints quarterback situation, we talked about Jake Haener earlier this week with that oblique injury, and we kind of thought he was the third guy in line for that job anyways. Well, with that oblique injury, watch out for Hunter Deckers. He's the undrafted free agent. He was actually a tryout player. He wasn't even an undrafted free agent. They came to camp. They kept him on after that first week with those tryout players. He's from Iowa Western, but he's not a normal Iowa Western quarterback. So he was at Iowa State for 3 seasons, 2020, 21, and 22. Was one of the highest rated quarterback recruits ever in the history of Iowa State football. Played sparingly his first 2 years. In 2022, he takes over as the full-time starter, and he wasn't bad. 66% completion, over 3,000 yards. Now, 19 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, but it was his first year as a starter. If you remember the sports betting scandal that came out with Iowa players and Iowa State players, it was kind of that whole state. Hunter Deckers was one of those guys involved when he was a quarterback at Iowa State. So, he leaves the team. He goes to Iowa Western. And at Iowa Western, in last season, 64% of his passes, 3,800 yards, 32 touchdowns, just 10 interceptions, and he can run a little bit as well. He's a big guy. He's about 6'3". He's around 220, 225 pounds. He's a talented guy. I'm not saying Hunter Decker is going to come in and challenge Spencer Rattler and Tyler Shuck for a starting position. That's not going to happen. They've invested too much in Tyler Shuck, and Spencer Rattler has been here for a year already. What I am saying is that if that oblique injury turns out to be more than just a few week setback for Jake Haener, Hunter Deckers could make this team. There's a lot of buzz around him right now coming out of training camp. The next position that Ross wanted to highlight was the starting offensive line. So we've talked a lot about Trevor Penning during the first couple days of OTAs, moving from right tackle where he played last year to that left guard spot. Well, it's been Kelvin Banks at left tackle. Most kind of expected that. Penning at left guard. McCoy and Ruiz at center and right guard. Everyone expected that. Taliesin Fuaga, who was your starting left tackle a year ago, moving to right tackle, which was his dominant position that he played in college. He played a lot more right tackle than left tackle. If you remember when they drafted Fuaga, a big reason why me and a lot of other people wanted that to be the draft pick was because of his versatility. He could play on the left side. He could play on the right side. He could play guard and tackle. They've moved him back over to right, where he's apparently more comfortable, even though I thought he was good at left. But Kelvin Banks, that more pure left tackle. So that's kind of your starting O-line, but the Saints have a chance to actually have some decent depth on the offensive line. You brought in Dylan Raduns from the Tennessee Titans, who a lot of people thought was going to be that starter at left guard, but moving Penning over there, maybe Raduns is a good rotational piece, a good swing guard. Will Clapp is currently on the roster. He could play center or guard. Nick Saldiveri can play guard. He's currently still on this roster. Landon Young has played a lot of football for this team. Left tackle, right tackle. He's kind of been your plug-and-play guy anytime one of your starting tackles go down. He's still on that team. That's 4 guys that can make decent backups for you. Now, they're not going to carry. I don't expect all 9 of those guys to make the team, but you have options on the offensive line because Penning can play tackle. Will Clapp, center, guard. Landon Young as a tackle. Dylan Raduns can play either guard spot. All of a sudden, you have quality depth on the offensive line if your starting 5 that you have put together right now works out. I actually like the pieces there a little bit more than I did, especially this time last year. Now, he goes on to mention Brandon Staley's defense as one of the things to look at. Stand-up edge rushers, changes in front, coverages. We're going to get more into that as the season gets closer, but sticking with the offense here, he mentions Chris Olave and Rashid Shaheed as 2 guys to keep an eye on. And it makes a lot of sense, right? Both of them coming back from injuries of that injury-plagued receiving core that you saw in 2024. A lot of people have asked, were the Saints going to draft a receiver high in the draft? They did not. Were they going to sign a big-name free agent? They did not. I don't consider Brandon Cooks a big-name free agent, but they did bring in Brandon Cooks. So is Olave or Rashid a wide receiver 1? No, but maybe they don't have to be. They're both quality receivers when they are fully healthy. You also added Brandon Cooks. He is past 30. He is a little bit past his prime, but he could still make a little bit happen. Now, his production did drop every year he was in Dallas, but he dealt with some injuries as well. If he can stay healthy, do you have a great receiving core? No. I'm not trying to say, Tyler Shuck's going to come in here, play in front of a really good starting 5 on the offensive line. He's got studs on the outside. No. That offensive line still has question marks because you got a lot of new pieces, and your receivers, let's call it like it is, are below average. You don't have that bona fide wide receiver 1, but maybe you can have a decent group with Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and Brandon Cooks. Maybe that's enough to just help out Tyler Shuck a tad. You're not going to go out there and, again, give him the best weapons. I think this is actually one of the weaker wide receiver cores in the NFL. You have Dante Pettis. He's apparently working pretty high in the receiver rotation at OTAs. You signed him in the middle of the year last year. You have Bub Means, who you drafted a year ago. So you have pieces there, but they all have to stay healthy. Again, you don't have that one dominant guy, so you got to make sure that room's as healthy as possible so each receiver can complement the other. The last thing he gets into is the cornerback spot. You have McKinstry, you have Alontae Taylor. They are both back. You traded Marshawn Lattimore to the Washington Redskins halfway through the year. We know that. And you lost Paulson Adebo to the Giants in the offseason. McKinstry, I think, can lock down one of those spots. It's uncertain whether or not Alontae Taylor can play that outside corner position. just because he's played a lot more nickel in the NFL as he has as that boundary corner. If McKinstry can lock down one side, who could be on the other? Because my preference would be playing nickel package pretty much all the time. That's kind of a base defense for a lot of people anyways. Keep Alontae Taylor right there as that slot corner. Have Kool-Aid McKinstry on one side. Hopefully one of these younger guys can step up. Veteran Isaac Edom has taken the majority of the first team reps, but Quincy Riley's out there. Quincy Riley's going to battle Isaac Edom for that starting spot. When you look at Quincy Riley, he was a 4th-round pick, so the Saints, spent pretty significant draft capital on him. 3 years at Louisville, 8 interceptions. One of them returned for a touchdown. 74 total tackles. Like, he's got a little bit. Forced a fumble there as well. His numbers don't jump off the page, but he's a solid corner. He's decent size for a rookie. Like, that's a guy to keep an eye on. I think the battle between Edom and Quincy Riley is going to tell you a lot. If one of those guys can step up, you no longer need Alontae Taylor to play out wide. I think if Alontae Taylor is an outside corner, it's out of necessity, not because that's what's best for your defense. Because I think what's best for your defense is having a guy like Alontae Taylor roaming in that nickel position because he's been so good there in his time in New Orleans. All right, that's just a few things to kind of highlight, take a look at. Again, media is supposed to have availability at OTAs today. I'm sure Ross will have another updated write-up, but he put that out yesterday on LouisianaSports.net. Want to kind of to break it down a little bit. All right, we're going to take a timeout. When we get back, we got another interview from our guy Jake Hester out there at SEC spring meetings. He said he had to sit down with Brian Kelly, about a 6 or 7 minute interview. We'll play that here on the other side on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
Go to GoTommies.com. GoTommies.com is the website. Tommy's windows, doors, and siding. Gosh, that's a bad picture. You know that they win the Angie's Award every single year, but that's not the only award that they win. I mean, Best of Baton Rouge, 2025 winner, Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding, voted best window company in the Advocate. Best window company. There's a lot. There's a lot that advertise, throughout this region. Like, we get that. There's a lot that you see across town, but you know what? Best means the top one. The one that nobody else can compare to. And that's exactly what you're going to get with Tommy's Windows, Doors, and Siding. Truly the best. You can go to the website today to find more information. Schedule your appointment. That is GoTommys.com.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Off the bench.
Come on, we'll do an Oklahoma drill, Coach, to see
Hey,
which
listen.
show, okay?
Listen, I got to do them every Monday, okay?
Oh, that's true.
My penance.
Yeah.
We're rolling. Skaggs? Yep. 3, 2, 1. Joining us right now in SEC Spring Meetings, the head coach of the LSU Fighting Tigers, Coach Brian Kelly, alongside Chris Dorr and Jacob Hester. I am Peter Burns. And BK, you got to be upset because all the guys, all the sponsors here at Spring Meetings are getting ready to go play golf right now. And you got to go do Feinbaum instead of golf? What are you doing?
I mean that's much more important than golf, right?
I mean, yes.
I didn't get a laugh from anybody.
Did you see the Lane Kiffin interview with him yesterday?
No.
Lane just absolutely ripped him and made him feel so it was so
Lane,
awkward and funny and great.
Lane is he can do funny things. Let's put it that way.
What the hell did you learn this week? Anything?
You know, I did learn a lot.
Okay.
One is that we think as football coaches that we live in a vacuum. In other words, whatever we decide in our room is gospel.
Right.
Then we get into the AD's room and it don't mean nothing.
Yeah.
Because you really have to look at it from two perspectives, right? The coaches, we're thinking about progress, right? We're thinking about transfer portal and getting it into the right window. We're thinking about NIL and how we can get some clarity and some teeth to that. Yeah. And then we're thinking about revenue sharing and how we can get 85 or 105 on our roster. Then we walk in there and they go, hey, look, we need revenue. We're giving you guys $20 million. We need revenue. You need to play more games. You need to do these things. And so it's a perspective, right, that you gain that when you're sitting in that room, those ADs have to think about the revenue piece as well. And it's not to try to put you in harm's way, but the reality of it is we're the third most watched sports in the country. It's number one is the NFL, number two is the NBA, and number three is SEC football.
Yeah.
I mean, that's major. People want to watch teams from the SEC play, and in particular play each other.
Right.
So it starts to put in perspective 8 versus 9 games, right? It starts to put in perspective, hey, do you play in games? People want to watch the SEC play. And so then we go back into our room and we go, how about we control what we can control? I know that's a long answer to your question.
Hey, Coach, would it help if y'all had more meetings maybe together with the head football coaches and the ADs? You just get more done?
It's a great point. We felt as a group that the New Orleans meetings where it was the ADs and the coaches meeting together, it was our most productive time that we've had. And when you're split like this, like there's some important things that are coming up on the window, the transfer portal window, that we haven't even got a chance to address with them and how important it is. It will change everything if we don't get that portal window in January. It changes everything.
So you want one portal window?
We would like one. We will live with what we have right now with a second because there's no SEC transferring in that second window.
Right.
We would live with that. We would prefer one, and it needs to be in January, or the calendar just changes so dramatically.
Coach, then you don't know who your team is if
you
it's
have
in
no
April.
idea. Well, think of it this way, fiscally. You got guys that want to leave in May to a May portal. You got them on payroll for 3 months. You might as well just throw it out the window. You're burning through money. And so if we want to be fiscally responsible, if we want to think about player safety, and listen, any kid that wants to go, he wants to go in January. He doesn't want to wait around. Are you kidding me?
Unless that check's cashing.
Exactly. Well, yeah. Of course. Well, then that's the other side of it, right?
Yeah.
Then you're going to be losing money, and you're irresponsible fiscally.
Yeah.
So I just again, I think being together with the ADs where we can really just say, here's our issue, this is what we need. That's what we've learned. I think we're making progress over perfection right now, but it's real, and it's a good thing.
I think the thing that I love the most about being here is seeing the camaraderie between all of you coaches. Everybody watches game days and going at each other, but you guys really do a lot of things together. And do you find it more open now about how different coaches are doing things because of the challenges that you face and because of the uncertainty that you're willing, and maybe because there's 12 playoff spots now too, you're not fighting for just one, that your information sharing about things that you probably wouldn't have before?
Yeah, I think all that's right. I think, first of all, there's a respect that we all have tough jobs, and we're all, listen, we love our jobs. We're paid way too much money. All those things are true, but I think there's a true respect for each other and the way they do their job and the job that they have. And then it's a really good group. There's nobody in there that hasn't earned their opportunity to be there.
5, 11, those are two numbers that are starting to pop up. 5 automatic qualifiers, 11 spots, or 4 automatic qualifiers from a certain league. Where do you feel the coaches stand?
5-11.
Why?
Five. Well, I mean, pretty obvious, right? I mean, more automatics, and the opportunity to maybe even steal another one. So I think that's probably, where all of our coaches
are. You afraid that the committee would limit that? Be like, say, all right, you're getting the 5, we're not going to go above that?
No, our concerns with the committee is in terms of weighting your schedule. They look at just the right-hand column and what that looks like. A loss is not all losses are the same. No. And I know nobody wants to talk about losses, but the truth of the matter is losses are different. Mm-hmm. And I think we would rather see a cleaner understanding of the process. Look, when I was at Notre Dame, we played for the national championship against Alabama in 2012. That was the computer. It was all computer. Now we've moved very subjective. We're over here. We need to move it back into add some ratings. Bill Conley's got one. The Massey report. I mean, I know we can't do an RPI, but if we can do something that brings the selection process into a finer line, we'd be in good shape.
Yeah, Coach, there has to be something, because in basketball we talk about quad 1 victories. In baseball we do talk about RPI, softball RPI. That's a metric that we use, and we have that. There has to be something that you can say, hey, I know this team lost, but they lost on the road to this number 10 team. They lost on the road to number 4, and then at at home at number 3 is a tough loss.
Just look at the Indiana the Indiana and Alabama analogy, right? Alabama had 8 wins against 6+ win teams.
Right.
Indiana had 4, and they lost to 1 that didn't. You know what I mean? Of less than 6. So. You got to balance it. You got to look at it. All losses are not the same.
Right.
And so there's got to be some kind of index in there. I know it's hard to do an RPI because, our number of games is not big enough for you to get that index, but we can do something.
Yeah.
It is fascinating, continues to roll, and these conversations are being had, and hopefully you guys and the athletic directors and the head coaches hang out a little bit more to kind of solve that stuff. I know you got to run.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Have
I
some
appreciate
fun, and we'll
it.
talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me,
Coach.
Brian Kelly, coach of the LSU Tigers, joining us SEC Spring Meetings.
There was Jacob Hester right there at SEC Spring Meetings with LSU head football coach Brian Kelly. They talked a lot about, the college football playoff committee, the move to 16-team playoff. That has just been a topic that everyone has discussed. We'll kind of give you my thoughts on that BK press conference coming back on the other side of the break. But the SEC coaches kind of seem to all be in lockstep. I kind of broke down Sankey's comments yesterday about, our 3 teams got left out and 2 of them beat Georgia and you got to have quality losses. BK kind of echoed that sentiment. And look, I can get behind it. You have to do what's best for your conference, but I still just don't quite know where they're getting this. We'll kind of break that down next. Coming up here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
All right, go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. Buying new, leasing, renting, everything is available in all 3 of those processes. So no matter what you need, they're going to have it over at All-Star. If you need a full-size SUV, mid-size SUV, van, truck, hybrid sedan, whatever, they've got it. And we are here in the month of May at the very end. Today is the last day for like everybody. Most people already out of school, but today certainly is that last day of school. So maybe you're going on your trip this weekend. Maybe you're waiting until next week, but it is okay. It is not too late to rent a Toyota from All-Star. Call Miss Lisa Sessions today in the rental department. Get it all reserved up. Per day rental prices, fantastic prices as well. Something that we always mention, like the deal they have at All-Star is incredible. So per day rental prices, everything is available. Again, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
One person that will always have your heart. You never see it coming 'cause you're blinded from the start. Know that you're that one for me. It's clear for everyone to see. Ooh, baby.
Yeah. You gotta rock and wait in this one. Come on.
See,
I don't know about y'all, but I know about us. And
it's the only way we know how to rock.
I don't know about y'all, but I know about us. And
it's the only way we know how to rock. Do you remember, girl? I was the one who gave you your first kiss. 'Cause I remember, girl, I was the one who said, put your lips like this. Even before all the fame and people screaming your name. Girl, I was there, and you were my baby. It started when we were younger.
Welcome back in. Welcome back in. Final segment, hour number 2 here on a Thursday edition of Off the Bench. Guys, want to welcome a new member to the YouTube chat, Island Taylor, who has taken a screenshot of me in this shirt and made it their profile picture. So Shout out Island Taylor. Good to have you in. Tell you what I'm going to miss. We were talking about this, Jordan, when T-Bob was leaving. Like, T-Bob's chest hair and T-Bob's knee. Like, they got to follow him to Barstool. That's the only logical answer. But I'm going to miss T-Bob's chest hair in the chat.
No, man. Shout out T-Bob chest hair. Shout out T-Bob leg. And I think it was like an elbow, maybe.
It was T-Bob's knee.
Oh, yeah,
it was
knee.
T-Bob's knee.
Shout out T-Bob's knee. If they're still around or they rebranded.
Yeah, I don't know where they're at. Okay, you just heard Jacob Hesser's interview with Brian Kelly there at SEC spring meetings. Now, obviously, it's centered around the college football playoff, moving to the 16-team playoff, the selection committee. All that's kind of been the big topic of conversation over there at SEC Media Days. Now, yesterday, I played an audio clip from SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey of him talking about, it's almost more important to not lose now than to win. 2 of the 3 teams they got left out of the college football playoff in the SEC beat the University of Georgia, and they got penalized for playing a tough schedule. Kelly's kind of echoed that sentiment, and really a lot of coaches. Like, it's not just Kelly, it's not just Sankey. Like, they're all kind of in lockstep about the college football playoff selection committee. And BK, when asked about the selection committee, he brought up Alabama, and he said, look, the University of Alabama had 8 wins against teams with 6 wins or more. Indiana only had 4 wins over teams with 6 wins or more and lost 1 of them. He went on to say, not all losses are the same. Some are worse than others. I get that, and I get Sankey and Kelly and whichever other coach you want to bring up. They kind of all have the same opinion on this. Wanting to boost your conference, wanting to do what you think is best for the SEC, but I don't really know why they're only looking at this one way. I mean, I do know why they're looking at this one way, but I don't know how you can do that. Okay. Let's go back to Alabama's losses. Kelly says not all losses are created equal. I agree with that. Alabama, 2 of their 3 losses are to Oklahoma and Vanderbilt. Combined, Oklahoma and Vanderbilt had 5 SEC wins this year. Vanderbilt finished 7-6. Oklahoma finished 6-7. So that's a 13-13 combined record overall. Alabama lost to 2 teams with a combined record of 500, both of them losing records by multiple games in SEC play. Those are bad losses. The same thing with Ole Miss. Ole Miss is two of their SEC losses were Florida and Kentucky. Kentucky went 1-7 in the SEC. Their only SEC win was against the Ole Miss Rebels. And Florida went 4-4. So that's 5 combined SEC wins between Florida and Kentucky. I get it. Indiana's schedule was not tough. They lost a bad game. But we can't sit here and pretend that Alabama and Ole Miss did not lose bad games. They did. Ole Miss had a good loss to LSU on the road in overtime. That's not a bad loss. You lose to Kentucky. Granted, it was early in the season, but that was Kentucky's only SEC win. You lose to Florida. Now, Florida was kind of hot when you played them. I get that, but you can't lose games like that and make it to the college football playoff. You cannot give up, if you're Alabama, you cannot give up 40 points to a Vanderbilt and expect to get into the postseason. You cannot get beat 24-3 to Oklahoma. I mean, at least when they allowed Vanderbilt to put up 40 on them, it was 40-35. The game somewhat came down to the wire. You got steamrolled by a bad Oklahoma football team that finished with a losing record. Now, it was on the road, but 24-3? You didn't even score an offensive touchdown? Everyone tried to hype up Jalen Milroe for 2 years. I never bought into the hype, but people tried to hype up Jalen Milroe for 2 years. You had Ryan Williams, who was one of the best receivers in the country last year, and you couldn't score an offensive touchdown? You cannot make the college football playoff with losses like that. I get what Kelly's trying to do. I get what Greg Sankey's trying to do. I just can't get on board with it because you can mention the bad loss for Indiana. You can mention, oh, well, SMU kind of snuck in. They lost the conference championship to Clemson. They didn't deserve it either. Did Alabama and Ole Miss really deserve to get into that college football playoff? Sure, they both beat Georgia. Congratulations. Georgia didn't make it to the national championship. Everyone talked all season long and continuing in the offseason about how bad Georgia's offensive weapons were. And then when they got in the college football playoff, you had Gunnar Stockton. Carson Beck turned the ball over a lot last year. Like, Georgia in 2024 was not the Georgia we had seen in the past 5 years. Like, no doubt about it, on paper, that's a good win, but is that win alone enough to get you in the college football playoff? I don't think so. Alabama beats LSU. LSU goes 9-4, but that was during LSU's 3-game skit. I mean, they were as cold as anybody in the country during that game. No, I'm not saying if they would have played at a different point in the season, Would the result have been any different? No, maybe it wouldn't have been quite as lopsided, but I mean, you got to win over Georgia. You got to win over LSU. You beat. I mean, what else does Alabama have? There's not a ton of top flight wins there as well. Same with Ole Miss. You beat Georgia. Okay, cool. Now, South Carolina didn't have a bad loss. Your losses were to LSU at home by 2 points in a game, or 3 points in a game that you should have won. I thought South Carolina should have won that game. They let that one slip away. LSU got lucky to come out of Columbia with a win that day. And you lose, so you could say, okay, well, they should have got in. They didn't have a bad loss. But you lost to Alabama and Ole Miss, the other two teams that were in consideration. While South Carolina may have not had the bad losses, well, I actually thought out of those three teams at the end of the year, South Carolina was playing the best out of the three. How could you justify putting in South Carolina over Ole Miss and Alabama that both have a head-to-head over South Carolina? There is a lot wrong with the College Football Playoff Committee. We could sit here and split hairs and talk about all the different reasons why people don't like it, why, everybody hated the BCS and you went to the 14 playoff. Well, 4 teams not enough. You got to go to 12. Now people hate the 12-team playoff. Again, there's always going to be holes you can poke in things and complaints that you can bring up about a selection committee. Because at the end of the day, they're people and they're biased. And if the SEC wants to mention, hey, we think we should have got more teams in, that's great. But don't mention, oh, well, our teams beat Georgia or our teams didn't suffer bad losses. Yeah, they did. Alabama had 2 bad losses. Ole Miss had 2 even worse losses. Like, I'm not saying that the College Football Playoff Committee is perfect. They're not. A lot of people complain when Florida State didn't get in 2 years ago, but not putting in Ole Miss, Alabama, or South Carolina, in my opinion, is not one of the missteps by the College Football Playoff Committee. All right, that'll do it for hour number 2. We got one more hour left here on this Thursday. Coming up at 9 a.m., just like we do every Thursday, we're going to do Big Deal or No Big Deal at 9:15, our Munchie segment with Chef Michael Johnson, then some LSU baseball to wrap it up.
Off the bench.
All right, go to boudreauxelectrical.com. Boudreauxelectrical.com is the website, and if you're looking for more information on a whole home generator, that is the place to go to. Top right corner of the website, red tab right there. Click on that for that free quote that we tell you about all the time. And trust me when I say, it's never a good time to have your power go out, but you certainly don't want it in this time of the year in South Louisiana. It is not going to be bearable. It is going to be something that is going to make you more than miserable, right? So, but if you have that whole home generator, as soon as the power goes out, the AC is not going to go anywhere because that thing's going to kick on and you're going to be saved. So if you want more information on the North Shore, call 985-397-1562. In the greater Baton Rouge area, call 225-300-9389. Always online at boudreauxelectrical.com. More power, more protection.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Luba Workers Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Good morning, Baton Rouge. Hour number 3, 9 a.m. And it's currently 74 degrees outside, mostly cloudy. Now, hour 3 of OTB, we're going to dive into a little bit of Chef Michael Johnson and Munchies. Big deal or no big deal. And maybe we're going to talk a little bit more about Tay Bob's new shirt. So hour number 3 of OTB starts now.
Let's go, baby, let's go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench.
This is what we have been waiting for. The hype is over.
Off the Bench.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Now, here's Jacob Hester.
All right, welcome in hour number 3 here on a Thursday edition of Off the Bench. We got one more hour left before Jacob Hester returns tomorrow morning for the final pre-Matt Flynn era of Off the Bench as he will officially hop on with us on Monday and begin the next chapter of the OTB. Jordan, let's not make Tay Bob a thing. Can we not do that?
Tay Bob? No, it's only we got that type of shirt on. Your Tay Bob.
Okay. Well, then that'll be probably today on. That's we're not doing Tay Bob. I don't need that. We already have Island Taylor and Island Tay in the chat arguing about who should get to keep their username. We don't need Tay Bob roaming around. We can keep that guy locked up. All right, here in hour number 3, we're going to do Big Deal or No Big Deal. We'll have Chef Michael Johnson. Chessa Boucher is going to hop on with us to talk some LSU baseball. And then we're going to close things out like we do every day with a little Ask the Bench. But right now, let's dive into it every day. Thursday, 9 a.m. Get a little Big Deal or No Big Deal.
Big deal. Ain't no big deal.
Big deal.
No big deal.
Big deal.
No big deal. No big deal.
No big deal.
We don't do this every Thursday. I don't remember the last time we did Big Deal or No Big Deal.
We're supposed to do it every time. Okay. Does anybody have a big deal or no big deal?
Yes, I
What
can
you got?
start it off. Okay. Let's start it with this. This stat right here is honestly one of the craziest stats I've seen. So, Bill Simmons tweeted, OKC is 8-1 at home in the playoffs. They won those 8 games by 51, 19, 43, 7, 32, 36, 15, and 30. The one loss was Denver game 1, where they were up 9 with 3 minutes left and lost by 2. Listen to this. They are a plus 231 in 9 home games. So the big deal or no big deal, is this one of the greatest teams we have ever seen assembled?
I mean, big deal on the record. I'm not going to say one of the best teams we've ever seen assembled. They have to win the title first for me to go into that. And like, you want to talk about the other side of things. If tonight the Pacers are able to close out the Knicks, if they're able to do that tonight in Game 5, they will be 12-3 in this NBA playoffs and undefeated in every game outside of Game 3s, actually. Fun fact for you there. The only games that the Pacers have lost have been Game 3s in all 3 of their series. So, yeah, I mean, OKC's been dominant. They were the best team in the league all year long. They look like they are still the best team here in the playoffs. I hear a lot of people say, okay, well, the Thunder have already won the title because, the real NBA title was the Thunder and the Nuggets. And I get it. The Nuggets are great. They have won a championship. Nikola Jokic is the best player in the NBA. I understand all that. Look, if the Pacers close it out, they're a formidable opponent. If New York's somehow able to come back and win this series, that's a good team as well. I get it. OKC has the star power. You got the young guys. You have the MVP and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but the Pacers and the Knicks are both really good teams as well. I think that's going to be a really interesting NBA Finals, regardless of who faces the Oklahoma City Thunder. So I'm not ready to say they're one of the best teams we've ever seen yet, but they're certainly on an incredible run. We'll see if they can get it done. Okay. New England Patriots wide receiver Stephon Diggs was not present for the team's organized activities yesterday. One day after a video of the wide receiver surfaced on social media in which he was on a boat and flashed an unidentified pink substance while surrounded by 3 women. That's what we're calling it. If you haven't seen the video, go look it up. He pulls out this little baggie. We're not going to make claims on what we believe that substance might be.
But we know what it is, brother.
You can kind of figure it out and put 2 and 2 together. Mike Vrabel was asked about it. He said it's something we're aware of, and obviously we want to make great decisions both on and off the field. He said, look, any conversations that I've had with Stephon will remain between him and I and the club as a whole. Big deal or no big deal, the Stephon Diggs video footage?
Oh, that's 100% a big deal. I mean, I get it. It's the off season, but 3 things. It's 3. It's not 1. It's not 2. It's 3. Number 1, how did you not realize you're being recorded? They got the phone in your face.
I mean,
basically.
It's not like this is like CCTV footage.
No, they're not in the corner of the boat. She's directly in front of you. Thing number 2, again, you are not some rent. Like, you're Stephon Diggs. You're on I ain't gonna say a prove it deal with the Patriots, but this could be like your final payday that you're gonna get in the NFL, and you kind of trick. You ain't tricking it away yet, but you're kind of tricking it away. And 3, when you signed to the Patriots, you were there to be a veteran help. You say you're gonna come in, help the young guys do all this, and you're on a boat with some Diddy powder, whatever you got going on the boat. So it's the off season. These are millionaires. Do what you want to do. But I just got to be a little bit more awareness. But don't get caught on camera handing out the little baggie. That's crazy.
Elijah, you got one?
No, that was mine.
I got another one.
What you got? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I mean, I was gonna give my take on it though. I think the bigger deal, I get your point. Like, you should be more aware of if somebody's recording you and stuff like that. But also, people used to be able to party on a boat with nobody posting videos of it. You know what I mean? I think the bigger deal is, why are you on this boat with people? If I was on a boat with Stephon Diggs, and I think Cardi B was on the boat too.
Yeah.
Was she? I think so.
Yeah.
I think they're dating or something. So
makes sense.
Cool.
Together.
Right. And then the bigger deal to me is I would have whooped all those girls' asses. But if I was on that boat, I don't think
that's a good point, because I didn't see Cardi B in that video.
Right.
I saw 3 women and none of them were Cardi B.
But I think I read an article about it, and I think they did say that she was on the boat.
Oh, you see the other video? It's like Diggs and 30 women and Cardi B.
Yeah, that's crazy. But I don't think that I would have, if I would have taken a video, I wouldn't have posted it everywhere for everybody to see and it goes viral, because you know what? Now I'm not going to get invited on the boat with Stephon Diggs.
Right.
Because I would find out who took that video, who posted it, and I am not talking to you ever again. I'm not inviting you anywhere. Also, I got kind of secondhand embarrassment and cringe from the girls hanging all on him.
Oh yeah.
Because that is so embarrassing.
And he was just chilling. He wasn't.
They looked like total bops. It just it looks bad. They looked super thirsty, and
they were.
I don't know.
When he pulled that baggie out?
Yeah, you used to be able to party on a boat and nobody would know about it.
He pulled the baggie out and one of them started jumping up and down. The one I was like, Daddy.
And hands all on his leg. Girl,
to her point,
have some couth.
To her point, you go look at what some of these NFL players in the 80s did.
Lawrence Taylor, baby.
That's what I'm saying.
The Cowboys.
It ain't just Lawrence Taylor. The entire early 90s Cowboy, late 80s, early 90s Cowboys teams did way worse than this. But yeah, Diggs didn't really seem to care. that he was getting. Like, to your point, I don't know how he didn't know that he wasn't getting videoed. You know what this reminds me of? Andra, I'm sure you've seen Breaking Bad, right?
Oh,
I've tried to watch it.
Okay, you've seen it as well.
It
reminds
me
of
too much anxiety.
It does. It reminds me of when they were making the meth, and it was supposed to be all nice and clear, but
it was
you picked
cloudy.
up the wrong supply and it turned it into that light blue.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, we're gonna just roll with the light blue and make it our signature. Pink substance, man. Very Breaking Bad-esque of the crew over there with Stephon Diggs.
Everybody's like, I doubt Cardi B cares. She's like a former escort. And I'm like, I understand that. But if I were Cardi B and I wasn't, I'm not an escort, I would whoop everybody's ass on that boat.
Hey, man.
Everybody that's hanging on my man like that? No,
Well,
you got me messed up.
It takes two to tango, though. It takes two to tango.
No, I understand. I get that. But, I'm saying if I were on that boat, I'm not saying, Cardi B should have done it. But if I were on that boat, there's going to be some smoke.
To her point, they were hanging on him. I didn't even freaking know that Diggs and Cardi B were together, whatever. But, in that video, I'm trying to figure out, I'm like, which one of these women there's with?
Well, have y'all seen that
Stephon
video
Diggs?
of when he was on the Vikings?
Oh, yeah,
and
the
they're
one
like,
date your
who would you not let my...
Date
who would
your
you not-
sister unanimously with Stephon Diggs?
Yeah.
Well,
hey,
you know.
keep in mind, this is before he got paid, too. This is rookie year Diggs, too, at the same time. So this before the money got there. They knew what time it was.
What you got? You said you have another one?
So my second one is sneaker wars are back in the NBA. So with the Oklahoma City Thunder eliminating the Minnesota Timberwolves, famously on the Minnesota Timberwolves, Anthony Edwards, Adidas athlete, and when he beat LeBron, he dropped the whole Adidas commercial kind of dissing Nike, all this, right? So Converse, who Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's with, is owned by Nike. They dissed Anthony Edwards with a commercial, basically showing a little ant, and Anthony Edwards is known to be believe that, these little sayings and whatnot. So Converse drops a commercial with a little ant walking through a desert or whatnot, and they're like, unbelievable. It's basically clowning ant. And then Nike posts, the West runs through the OKC or something like that. Basically, Nike and Converse had to team up and diss Adidas, Anthony Edwards last night. And I just thought, man, sneaker wars might be back.
Big deal for me, at least.
Way big deal.
Okay, I haven't seen any of them signature shoe. I don't know what any of them look like. Probably won't buy them. But here's what I like. I like when big companies publicly fight with each other.
Yes.
It's entertainment for me. I'll always say this. I love, as long as nobody's hurt or sick or anything like that.
It's all fun.
I love drama if I'm not in it. And I can just sit back and watch. Anything like that is for me. I think it's a big deal. I love the sneaker war.
Dude, and honestly, like you said, the game needs this. I'm tired of everybody being buddy friendly. No. Let's get back to being enemies again. Everybody wants to work out. Everybody wants to be Stephon Diggs on a boat. We all, hey, bro, let's get a boat. Let's get all the girls on a boat. No. I want enemies again. Now you're starting to see maybe a budding rivalry. Anthony Edwards versus Shai Gilgeous. I don't know. But I will say this. He's not going to take that diss lightly. He will be. Adidas will be back. Adidas will be back.
I was reading last night on Facebook, a couple businesses out where I live. They were airing each other's dirty laundry all over Facebook, on their official business pages. I'm going to Victoria. I'm like, hey, have you seen this? Have you seen this? Look, these two companies are teaming up on this one. Dude, I love stuff like that. I live for it.
So y'all know that I used to follow the NBA, but it just doesn't really interest me that much anymore. I was surprised at the names that I heard were in the finals. Where did the Pacers come from? I don't know if they've been good or not, but basically the only team that I pay any sort of attention to is the Spurs. And I see online sometimes, obviously SGA won the MVP, beat out Nikola Jokic, all that. And that's a huge deal. But I see on the internet sometimes where people say that if you took the free throw line away from SGA, he wouldn't be all that good. How true is that?
Not very true.
I think it's one of those things, poking holes
Just
in someone's game.
Yeah.
I mean, they do this to LeBron all the time, and I get it. The videos are out there of LeBron flopping, but take that out of it. LeBron's still a really damn good player. So is SGA. As far as the Pacers, they were in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, but they had a tough time with the Celtics, as everybody else did. They're better this year than last year for sure. I will say this, an Oklahoma City Thunder, and I think the Pacers are going to eventually win that series. A Thunder-Pacers finals, that's cool because in my lifetime, the Thunder haven't been around that long, but I've never seen the Pacers win anything of any significance. Like,
Never.
Regardless, like for you, me, Alondra, like whoever's watching these finals,
Never.
you get to see somebody new win it.
Yeah.
And like that's
I love
exciting.
that.
That's exciting as well.
I like that topic because a lot of people say that's bad for the NBA. They be like,
No.
having parity and all this. And I know Lakers, Warriors, and the Boston Celtics. I'm like, what is wrong with
The only
y'all?
reason people are like, that's good for ratings is because those particular
markets, yeah.
cities have a lot of people. Nobody outside of LA or New York or Boston is going to give a crap that those teams are in the playoffs because nobody outside of those cities likes those teams.
And I hate that.
Pacers. And like, I want to pull, like, the reason I have pulled for the Pacers over the Knicks is I get to see a team that's never won before, and the New York market doesn't get satisfaction. That's the only reason I'm pulling for the Pacers over the Knicks. But, like, if the Knicks were to win, like, at least that's a new team. We haven't seen them do it. Like, and even if Minnesota would have upset OKC, like, we haven't really seen Minnesota do anything either. So it's like, this Final Four, as far as the NBA goes, could not have possibly been better.
Real quick, I have the Ant commercial. You want to see it real quick? It don't need sound. You want to see that real quick? Put it up there for you. Play that bad boy.
Yeah, what we got here? You gotta hit the play button, Jordan.
Wrong mouse.
Okay, so it's an ant. Makes sense.
Nothing left to say. Unbelievable. Because Ant Beat says, believe that.
Okay. Okay.
So it's like,
quick little spot.
You know, it's just a little diss. It's a little diss. You know,
I don't mind it. A little subtle.
Diss.
You can't come too strong right out of the gate because then it becomes a little less, right? All right.
Yeah.
We're about to take a break, but right before we do, I want to mention one more. Yesterday, this was an overlook by all of us. Yesterday marked 9 years since Harambe was put down at the Cincinnati Zoo. Big deal or no big deal?
Huge deal. 9 years. That just made me feel time waits for no man.
It was May 28th of 2016.
Holy moly.
Is when that happened.
You said May 28th?
Yeah, so yesterday. Yesterday made 9 years.
2016.
2016, 9 years. Make you feel old here on a Thursday.
My goodness.
All of
2016
that.
was 9 years ago.
Yeah. I know. I'm thinking this was like 3 or 4. I saw it. I'm like, oh, this is going to be like, what, the 4 or 5 year anniversary?
Yeah.
No, we're going on 10 years.
No, almost 10 years.
We are going on 10 years. All right, we're going to take a timeout. When we get back, we got Munchies with Chef Michael Johnson coming up next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
All right, go to getgordon.com. Getgordon.com is the website for Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys. And if you go to the website, you can see what they can do for you. Cases they can handle for you in the courtroom, like a full list, is on the homepage. You can get past client results. So, you know, people that have worked with Gordon and the team and the results that we always tell you about. I mean, look, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see right there the numbers tallying up and what they've done for clients here in the state of Louisiana and throughout the state of Louisiana. They are top to bottom, east to west, everywhere in between. Does not matter where you're listening to us in the state of Louisiana. We are talking to you. So you can go to the website, getgordon.com. You can go to any major social media. That handle is going to be at getgordon. So Instagram, Facebook, X, whatever it might be. And then also your area code in Louisiana. So 318-225-985-504-337 does not matter. Followed by 888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Bend Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, Our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Huh. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luva, our business has always been focused on.
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back in. Thursday edition of OTB here in hour number 3. And right now we have him every Thursday. It's time for Munchies with LSU Executive Chef Michael Johnson.
Get ready to tantalize your taste buds and leave this segment hungry. This is Munchies with Executive Chef Michael Johnson. Let's eat.
Chef Michael Johnson on with us right now. Chef, how are you this morning?
I'm well, Taylor. How are you?
I'm doing good. Look, obviously a little bit short of a work week for us here at Guarantee because, we had that Memorial Day on Monday. Give me kind of a recap of your Memorial Day. Like, did you cook anything? What's kind of your go-to for Memorial Day?
I boiled crawfish on Memorial Day, man.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
So what do you put, like, do you put anything unique in your crawfish boil that others don't? Because, a lot of people, everybody does the corn and potatoes, but, some people do sausage, hot dogs, Brussels sprouts.
Yeah.
Like, is there anything unique you put in yours?
So when I put in my lemons, I also put some orange juice in with the citrus. I like the flavor. I like the sweetness of the orange juice. It's almost akin to putting the pineapple in. And we put pineapple in, but we put the pineapple in later on. And I also tried putting some tahini in into the spice. It's kind of it's a Hispanic spice, but it's kind of bitterish, if you will, spicy and bitter at the same time. And it was a pretty interesting deal. I like to play around with the recipes. If I'm with people who are willing to and aren't super stuck on doing crawfish a particular way, I kind of like to play around with the recipe sometimes and just try new things. And I've put some weird stuff in there before, asparagus before, just to try it. Nothing too wild, but something like orange juice, oranges in the pot is something you see every day.
Chef, before we get into the chat questions for Munchies, I'm on TikTok a lot, and I see these two guys, Josh and Jace. Now, they're these.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you've seen them from UK, right? They were in
Yeah.
Louisiana for about 2 weeks. I saw a ton of food recommendations for them. They went everywhere. Like, if you had to, like, somebody from out of the country or maybe just on the other side of the U.S., like, what would be your go-to Louisiana dish to cook for someone?
Gosh, that's a good one, man. I don't know. I guess it depends on the time of the year, but jambalaya or etouffee or, honestly, if it was this time of the year, I would invite them to a crawfish boil because it's that social gathering and invite some friends, because, honestly, it's kind of fun to watch people who've never eaten crawfish before struggle with it a little bit, and throw some crabs in there and just introduce them to, the things that are truly, maybe some gator too, because, gator's one of those things that people look at and are like, no way in hell that I'm ever going to eat that. But when you try it the first time, it's wow, that was good. And gator even has different pieces of the body that taste different. Like there's a piece the gator that tastes a little bit like turkey. There's a piece that tastes a little bit like pork loin to me. Everybody says it tastes like chicken. So I think probably some gator on there too.
Hashtag munchies. Is there a dish you don't like making?
Man, I think breakfast as a whole is just not my cup of tea anymore because I've had to wake up and cook breakfast so many times. Like I like to, breakfast is one of those meals that has to be done quick, and people, like not only that, breakfast doesn't have as much variety in its capabilities. Like in my opinion, lunch and dinner, you can make just about anything for lunch and dinner and people will be happy. You can even make breakfast for dinner and people will be happy, but you can't make dinner for breakfast, right? Because it's a little too heavy. And so then you have eggs, pancake, like there's not a whole lot of variety in breakfast. And it's a little mundane for me.
Hashtag munchies. Chef, I'm cooking a Cajun pasta this afternoon. What are Chef's favorite type of pasta to use with that style dish?
I like using fresh pasta, and like pappardelle or like long fat noodles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like using, like smaller noodles. I like pastilla or Cajun pasta dishes like that with longer noodles that hold the sauce well. But what I really love is having fresh noodles, noodles that are handmade. And there's some places in New Orleans that do that really well. I don't really like, once you've had a fresh noodle, like it's really difficult to go back to the dried stuff because it just tastes and palatability wise is entirely different. It's a new experience, and I think it's superior to dried noodles.
Hashtag munchies. I have these serrano peppers in my garden, and I have a ton of them. What should I cook with them?
Roast them. Gosh, I love serrano peppers, man. They're like you can put them in the oven, oil them, and roast them slow. You can pickle them. You can dehydrate them and make a powder out of them and mix it in with the seasoning. I don't know if I should pickle them or not, but I mean, I love serrano peppers. They're just spicy enough that most people will tolerate them. And if you like put them on the grill and char them, they turn out like smoky and they're a pretty versatile pepper.
So could you just stuff it like a stuffed bell pepper?
Serrano's a little bit small for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I guess you could if you wanted to, but they're a little small for that. But
okay.
Like I like to fire roast them and put them on. Hey Frank, I like to put them on an open fire and roast them and then pull the skin off of them and use it as like a roasted serrano pepper, like you would a roasted red pepper. They're spicier. They're more charismatic. I think you just use it as an ingredient in the dish at that point.
Hashtag munchies. Any opinion on a combo grill being both propane and charcoal? Is having gas burners even necessary?
Gosh, gas is really convenient for the backyard, and it's hard to deny that when you have a family and kids and people are like, "Hey, I'm ready to eat now." But if you're wanting to do it well, I'm always a charcoal guy. I like the flames. I like the flavor of the burning fire and the smoke, and I always soak some wood. I go and get some wood chunks and soak them in water overnight, and then throw them on the side of the charcoal. Morning, Bo. To give them, like as the fire burns, it makes that wet wood smoke and smolder, and it just adds character to whatever you're doing.
Just one more for you here, Chef, before we get you out of here. Well, first off, the reason I am hosting this week is because Jacob Hester's out in Destin for the SEC spring meeting. So in honor of Jake being out in Destin, what is your favorite beach meal?
I mean, fresh fish, or fresh shrimp, like ceviche. I think and I don't know that you can get conch in Destin, but when I got married, we got married in Grand Cayman and then went to Belize the next day. And this guy literally snorkeled out and grabbed a conch and brought it in, and they made conch on the beach right there, conch ceviche. And, if conch hasn't been frozen, it's a little bit like clam, the muscular texture to it. Man, there's something special about conch ceviche on the beach, or even fish ceviche or shrimp ceviche on the beach. Like fresh made tortilla chips, a cold beer, a little bit of spice in the ceviche to, make your make you sweat and need to drink another drink of your beer. I think that's kind of special. Yeah.
That was Munchie's LSU executive chef, Michael Johnson. Chef Johnson, thanks for hopping on with us this morning.
Take care, Taylor.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. When we get back, Chessa Boucher of WVLA is going to hop on with us for a quick second to talk a little LSU baseball regional that's coming up next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
All right, go to All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. Buying new, leasing, renting, everything is available in all three of those processes. So no matter what you need, they're going to have it over at All-Star. If you need a full-size SUV, mid-size SUV, van, truck, hybrid sedan, whatever, they've got it. And we are here in the month of May at the very end. Today is the last day for like everybody. Most people already out of school, but today certainly is that last day of school. So maybe you're going on your trip this weekend. Maybe you're waiting until next week, but it is okay. It is not too late to rent a Toyota from All-Star. Call Miss Lisa Sessions today in the rental department. Get it all reserved up. Per day rental prices, fantastic prices as well. Something that we always mention, like the deal they have at All-Star is incredible. So per day rental prices, everything is available. Again, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac.
Welcome back to Off the Bench.
Welcome back in. Thursday edition of Off the Bench. Taylor Sharp sitting in the host chair for our guy Jacob Hester, who will be back tomorrow. The LSU Tigers will host that regional in Baton Rouge starting tomorrow at 2 p.m. when they take on Little Rock. And to break it all down for us, let's welcome on Chessa Boucher right now, sports reporter with WVLA. Chessa, how are you this morning?
I'm great. I'm actually headed to the ballpark right now. How are you?
I am doing good. You were in Hoover last weekend, right? How was that?
It was amazing. I wish LSU's bats could, kind of come alive. But aside from that, the atmosphere was great. The new additions to the ballpark, and also it just felt like Alex Fox East, and it was amazing.
Well, look, let's dive right into it. The Tigers, the host site for that regional, as I just mentioned. What do you like this draw? I mean, a lot of people were talking about how easy of a draw it is. Some people are cautioning it, like, hang on, these teams can sneak up on you. What are your thoughts about the whether it's Dallas Baptist, Rhode Island, Little Rock? You like this regional for the Tigers?
I think it's a very reasonable draw. I think it's an easier path than maybe some other opportunities they had years ago, but I agree. I think we're not trying to have one of those coastal Carolinas again or the Stony Brook. Like, I'm not okay with that. So I think you definitely can't overlook any of these teams, but I definitely think it's favorable for LSU to really be able to break out of this slump and get things going offensively.
Speaking of a slump, let's get into that right there, because a second ago you mentioned that you wish LSU's bats would have came alive a little bit more in Hoover, as did the rest of us. How concerned are you about this lack of hitting you've seen lately?
It's concerning in the sense of, I would say the start of the season and midway through, everybody talked about how everybody could hit on this lineup from 1 through 9. Now you're seeing, when you go into SEC play, you're seeing better arms. You're facing tougher competition. So it's one of those things of, you're seeing better arms, so it's harder to hit. But I think the meat of this lineup really needs to come alive. We've seen Steven Monster Milam. He's been struggling at the plate. Jared Jones has had a few hits here and there, but not just the slugging, hitting machine that we're used to seeing. Daniel Dickinson hasn't really been hitting really well either. And then Derek Curiel has been in this slump, which you expect to see from a true freshman. And then you have Ethan Fry, who's been pretty consistent for this team. But you're talking about a guy who hadn't had a lot of playing time in his career at LSU. He's had injury problems, and so now you're relying on Ethan Fry as being really that guy hitting in this lineup. That's not a great look. I think facing some arms that are not as elite as the SEC teams that you face, you can kind of get out of that and get into a rhythm. We know LSU hits a lot better at the box. They average 9 runs a game at home as opposed to on the road. They average 5. So I think you'll see a little bit more offensive production, or at least I hope, because 6 hits in Hoover total is not going to cut it in postseason play. But I think Jay and the guys are going to be ready to go and have something to prove after not doing so well offensively in Hoover just a week ago.
Well, Tressa, let's say that these bats don't pick up, or maybe they pick up a little, but not to the level that we want to see. Can the pitching carry this team to Omaha?
I think so. I absolutely think so. I think you have one of the best pitching duos in the country with Kate Anderson and Anthony Ianson. I think you're going to rely heavily on these guys, but I think also what you saw in Hoover is a positive. When you see Jaden Newt kind of coming into his own, he's battled injury coming off of Tommy John, hadn't had a whole lot of opportunities, and now he's healthy and kind of being that guy you expected him to be. I love Chase Shores coming out of the pen. I think he can let it rip as opposed to trying to go deeper in the ball game. So he's kind of found his niche in this bullpen. And also, I think Kason Evans is that 3 guy that you needed. I know the past 2 outings have not been top tier for him, but he's also an elite arm. He's a true freshman. You're going to have ups and downs. I think him not pitching in Hoover is showing you that Jay kind of wants to conserve him and him be ready to go for postseason play. So I think, especially with Jacob Myers pitching as well as he has, he can be one of those guys who comes in and closes it, and you're not going to hit 101. And these are teams that probably haven't seen somebody throw in 101. So if he can limit the walks, I just think this bullpen, and especially in that starting rotation, can really take you the distance.
Just as far as the pitching rotation goes for this weekend, this was something that was brought up yesterday. I saw it all over social media. I don't think this happens. I do want to get your opinion on it, though, as far as, like, you play Little Rock game 1, you could have Dallas Baptist or Rhode Island in game 2. Do Do you think LSU would pitch off, meaning not throw Cade Anderson game one? I think Jay rolls with Anderson game one. I just kind of want to hear your thoughts on that.
I think Jay is a man of he does not break character. So he's going to do his routine and what he's done. If he throws Paul Skeens against Tulane, I think Cade Anderson is going to go Friday afternoon. I think Jay he set himself up where he could either throw Anthony or he could throw Cade, but I just think he's not going to mess with what's worked so well for them all season long. I think you give the ball to Cade. I think Anthony gets the ball for game 2, and I wouldn't be surprised if Case Nevin goes game 3. People have talked about Jay pitching off and having Newt come in, but I don't think Newt comes in, especially after what he did in Hoover on a Saturday. I don't think you're going to give him a short, coming off of a 1 day's rest, or 4 days rest instead of 5. So for me, I think it's going to be Cade getting the ball for Friday for sure.
Chelsea, before we get you out of here, obviously the team that everybody's watching in this regional outside of LSU is Dallas Baptist, right? Because of how good of a program they've been in recent years. Obviously, you played them this year, but that was early in February. Both these teams are completely different. Like, how dangerous of a team could Dallas Baptist be in this regional?
I think they could be very dangerous, and it's a team you don't want to overlook, and you definitely want to have your best stuff. I think they have home run hitting power. I think they have 3 arms that can get them to Omaha, but what we've seen from DBU, they can win in a regional. They just can't ever get past the super regional to get to Omaha. I think the head coach has done a phenomenal job, and I think it's 18 seasons there at DBU. I think they're dangerous, and I think that Jay's going to definitely save one of his aces to go against them and try to put them away. If LSU handles business like they should, I think LSU is set up to have, better arms for the weekend to put them in a position to win, to advance to a super regional. So, again, don't overlook DBU. We've seen baseball. It's kind of crazy, especially at the box. And so it's one of those things you can't overlook the Patriots. And I think Jay's going to have this team ready to go. And I think it's going to be a big advantage for LSU to be home, to have that crowd environment, and it's a different animal at the box in postseason play, and I think we're going to see that, and I definitely think that's going to play a factor into how well LSU does this weekend.
All right, Chess, I know you got a busy weekend ahead of you, so we'll let you go, but have a good one. Thanks for hopping on with us.
Thanks so much, Taylor. Have a good one.
Absolutely. That was Chelsea Boucher right there with WVLA sports reporter. She will be out at Alec Box for the Baton Rouge Regional this weekend. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. When we get back, a little extended edition of Ask the Bench to close things out here.
Off the bench.
All right, so you heard Flynn the other day. I mean, he loves Dos Equis. You know that we here on the OTB team love Dos Equis. It is the perfect beer for any occasion. Lake beer, beach beer, shower beer, bath beer, you name it beer, like ballpark beer. It is the go-to, and we've said it. We're going to continue to say it, whether you're tailgating outside of Tiger Stadium, watching the Saints on a Sunday, or just kicking back with your crew. Dos Equis brings that bold flavor and smooth finish that turns ordinary into legendary. It's not just beer. It is the beer of champions, or at least the beer of guys who feel like champions, but you will feel like a champion when you enjoy an ice-cold Dos Equis. So you don't have to be a champion, because Dos Equis will make you a champion. So the next time you're watching the game, grab a Dos Equis, and remember, stay thirsty, my friends, responsibly, of course. Dos Equis, official beer of unforgettable sports moments.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Bend Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. It's hallowed ground. its past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
This is Off the Bench.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back in. Final segment, Thursday edition of Off the Bench. Taylor Sharp here with you, Alondra Villarreal, Jordan Kitchens. We have had a lot of fun the last 3 days. At least I have. I hope they have as well. We're going to do Ask the Bench here, but before we do, Jordan told me about this during breaks. We're going to play this first. The College Football 2026 trailer just dropped. Is that right? Like 20 minutes ago?
45 minutes ago now.
All right, well, look, you got it ready? Let's
I got
see
it ready to go. Let's get ready to go. And
there's something in the air. From Friday nights to Saturday lights. Chapel Hill to Pasadena. It crackles down our spines. Tradition, tension, roars that remind our rivals they're not in Kansas anymore. It's electric. It shocks our nerves and ignites a place where the ground shakes. But our pride doesn't. Where our coach, scheme, playbook, and character are unlike any other. There's something in the air. It builds us up, breaks them down, and gives the stadium a pulse built on pride.
All right, first thing I noticed, Enter Sandman's in the game, which is great. So when I first got the game, I was like, I'm going to play at Virginia Tech just so I could run out of the tunnel to Enter Sandman. And they didn't have it. I mean, what I had read was it was like a licensing thing because, you know, they were kind of trying to up the release date. They couldn't get the music license in time. Glad to see that's in the game. High School Road to Glory,
Back.
I love.
It's back.
Like
you was very advocate about
I was.
it. Yeah.
That was my thing. And what I'm gonna do is, since I'm a petty person and I've been hurt by Alabama too many times, I'm gonna commit to Alabama super early, flip on National Signing Day. That's my plan. They do it to everybody else. I'm gonna flip the script a little bit. I'm excited. Graphics look insane.
Crazy.
So I'm pretty excited about it.
Did you peep the coaches now?
I did, yeah.
That was kind
of weird in the original game. Like
no coaches.
Coaches weren't in it because I really wanted to play as Deion Sanders and I couldn't do it. So I was a little upset that they weren't in the game. All the coaches in the game now. So that's actually pretty cool.
Does that mean Bill Belichick? Because he's notorious for never being on Madden. Bill Belichick. So is he going to be? Is his first time?
We're gonna
I don't know. Like we just got to see.
Belichick's doing a lot of things he doesn't normally do now that he's in North Carolina. So we will find out. Okay, look. Before we get out of here, let's do a quick Ask the Bench. So the first one comes in and says, ask the bench, if you could decorate the host table however which way you wanted to, what would you do? So Alondra would probably be better at this than me. Right now we just put up the LSU helmets and then we have like the sponsored stuff. I don't know. Like, what would you do?
Like for me or for off the bench?
I guess for you. I don't know. Every show. I guess it doesn't matter. Like if you had to change the desk, I guess.
I think if it were for me, definitely throwing a Spurs jersey up there.
Okay.
I have one, but we're going to put it front facing so that nobody sees that it's a Kawhi Leonard jersey.
It could be a Kawhi jersey. It's fun.
Maybe like a little tiny, like have you ever seen, just for decoration purposes, have you ever seen those like little Bluetooth old-timey radio looking things?
Yeah.
I might put one
like
of those on there.
Because you're big on music. I like that.
I have, so a listener, shout out William Anthony, he sent me whenever the Houston Astros had like a Dia de los Muertos night. So he sent me a bobblehead that's like a sugar skull.
Bobblehead's a good desk.
Yeah. And it's a sugar skull thing, so it'd be like super cool. I need something LSU up there, so maybe keep the LSU helmet. Keep the Dos Equis for sure. I don't know.
I like that. I mean, I'm basic. Like I put this up and I set it up the exact same way just because that's how it's always been set up. Like the most I've ever done was switch Mike Allstott to this side of the table since this is where Jake's going to sit. Now that Flynn's in, and Flynn can come in and add his own stuff. I like the two helmets in the center for this particular show. I do like that. And then the Dos Equis right in front. Like those will stay because like those are sponsored stuff. But
maybe buy like a replica, like a little replica of Alec Box Stadium and put that up there.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I do like that. Ask the bench. Best beach drink.
Dos Equis.
That's what?
Beach drink.
Dos Equis.
Yeah, I mean when we talked about what's the one you brought, the salt and the lime one.
Yeah.
You brought. I mean that's literally made for the beach. It's got the salt and the lime already in it, so that's one. Yeah, now as far as non-beer, I don't know. I mean, I guess I would have to drink a beer on the beach just because, like,
I'm at the beach.
The sand's gonna get everywhere in the open cup. Like, I'm probably just going can or bottle beer. I mean, that's the answer. It's a bottle of Dos Equis. I mean, that's the answer. It's ask the bench. Is Jake really back tomorrow? Yeah, Jake's back tomorrow. He is. I asked him and he liked the message. And he was talking about, and we have a meeting tomorrow after the show that him and Flynn are both going to be at. So yeah, Jake is back tomorrow unless something changes and he lets us know tonight. As of right now, Jake is definitely back tomorrow. You got to remember, Jake was never the one that would go on vacation and extend it by a day. That was always T-Bob. Every time T-Bob was scheduled to come back, he would push it back today. Jake never really did that. So yeah, Jake, I trust that he's back. Now, if Hester was the one that left and T-Bob was solo in the show, no, I would fully expect for us to come in here tomorrow and him not be there. But he is scheduled to be back. Ask the bench, will Taylor now start going topless on Fridays?
I sure hope not.
Probably
I would
not.
Get blinded.
Probably not. I mean, when Flynn gets here, we'll workshop a couple things. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna say no. I mean, if that's my vote, I'll say no. I mean, I guess we can put it to a vote. Probably not. Again, got to pale. The lights in here are pretty bright. Laundry would probably have to wear sunglasses every single day. That's a lot of work for, trust me, very little payoff. So no, I mean, we'll probably say no to that one. All right, here's one. Ask the bench. I'll throw you this one, Jordan. What are you most excited about the new college football game?
Most excited about, definitely, I saw they're adding formation subs, so that was definitely a problem in the last one.
Mascots are back, too.
Yeah, mascots. I'm just excited that this game is back. You know, from being a kid, getting NCAA 14 back in the day. I mean, my dad brought me to the midnight release of that back in the day. So being a kid, basically staying alive up until the point where I was able to see the game come back. So I'm just happy with the game just being back. And that was my favorite game growing up. So,
Alondra, I know you had talked about gaming a little bit when you were growing up. Did you ever play this?
I played it like a long time ago, but it's not something I regularly played.
Okay.
No, I was more of like first-person shooter games like Halo,
I love
Call
Halo.
of Duty. We were addicted to zombies, but I was more
What's your
like the
favorite
show. Derice. That one's fun.
Which one is that?
That one's on Black Ops 2. I think 2. I think 2. It was like the second map that they came out with.
It was like the old abandoned house, right? Was that the...
No, so like... Well, I guess it wasn't this. Yeah, it was the second map they came out with. Like, there's the one, like the original one, where you're like in the room and then you have to open the door and then you go upstairs or whatever. The second map that they came out with was Derice, and that's when they had like the thunder gun.
Okay, I do remember that one.
The ray gun was the only one that they had in the first one, but yeah.
I don't remember which Black Ops it is. They had one where it was like the underground town.
Yeah.
They had that one. Die Rise was a favorite.
Oh, so maybe I'm saying it wrong. That's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, Die Rise. Yeah,
so
yeah, yeah, it was like the skyscrapers and stuff. You had to go up and down the elevator and stuff. Yeah, loved Die Rise. Die Rise was awesome.
Maybe.
That's probably it. Because they had the
I
other
don't
one
think
when you
they
were.
had the elevators.
They had the other one when you were in the Pentagon, so that's not it. And then they had the abandoned house. They had the underground
Yeah,
city.
Kino is fun too because it's in the theater. Yeah, I like that one too.
Okay, I
Shout
do
out Daniel
remember that
Basham
one, yeah.
because you're like in the theater and then you open the two doors and they all start. Yeah.
Zombie maps were so good. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for a Thursday edition of OTB. Jake Hester back tomorrow, and then debuting a little Matt Flynn on Monday. So we're excited about that. Tune in tomorrow. One more day of the work week. We will break down a lot of LSU baseball. That's coming up tomorrow on Off the Bench.
Off the bench.
All right, go to yourgoodwood.com, yourgoodwood.com. There on the website, you can check out questions that are often asked. You can check out the contact information. You can see different pricing levels and options for you. And, of course, you can find a full list of services that they offer over at the clinic. But always remember, just because you don't see it doesn't mean they don't offer it. That's why we always encourage you to go check out the website. We encourage you to book that consultation. Go see them for yourself. Have a conversation in person. But also, if you want to pick up the phone, give them a call. That is 225-4GD-WOOD. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. right there on Drusilla Lane in Baton Rouge. So multiple ways to get in contact with them. Again, 225-4GD-WOOD. Always online as well at yourgoodwood.com. That is yourgoodwood.com.
Brack Team